All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahuah HaMashiach. Complete us up at John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. And there they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you, but there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamaim. And you get to go. The Abba and Shamaim. In the name of Yahuah HaMashiach. And when y'all get the dope, please. Isaiah 34:16. Seek you out the book of Yahuah and read. None of these shall fail, and none shall want or make. For my mouth that have commanded, and his ruach that have gathered them. Shalom, East, man. What's happening, Tavon, man? Revelation 1:1. Shalom, brother Ernest, man. The revelation of Yahuah HaMashiach, which Elohim gave unto him to show unto his servants the things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified by his Malachim unto his servant John, which bear record of Elohim and of the testimony of Yahuah HaMashiach, of all the things that he saw. Baruch is he that read, and they that hear the words of the prophecy of this book, and keep those things which are there written therein, for the time is at hand. We were in Deuteronomy 25. Let's return to Deuteronomy 25 now. Come on.
So if there be a controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judges may judge them, then shall they justify the righteous and condemn the wicked. And it shall be, if the wicked man be worthy to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down and to be beaten before his face, according to his fault, by a certain number. 40 stripes he may give him, and not exceed. Lest if he should exceed and beat him above these with many stripes, then the brother should seem vile unto you.
Now we talk about the Sean. What's happening, man? Shalom, Sister Regina. We talk about Shalom, Jay. We talk about that divide, the stripes. But this is what we want to do, man. Let's come over here to Ecclesiastes, man. Ecclesiastes 2:12.
And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do that come after the king?
What can a man do that do what?
Come after the king.
But what he can do?
Even that which have already been done.
Now we can talk about that in a moment, but let's roll. Come on.
Then I saw that wisdom excel folly as far as light excel darkness.
Say that again.
Then I saw that wisdom excel folly as far as light excel darkness.
Now I didn't finish something in Proverbs 20, but I'm gonna finish that with stripes also. But come on with it. The wise man's
eyes are in his head,
but the fool walk where?
In darkness. And I myself perceived also that one event happened to them all.
I perceived that what?
One event happened to them all.
Then I said in my heart,
as it happened to the fool.
As it happened to the who?
To the fool.
To the who?
To the fool.
So it what?
Happened even to me.
Go ahead.
And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this also is vanity.
So as it happens to the fool, so as it happened to me. Now, you know that he said we fools for Hamashiach's sake. That's what he said, ain't it? Let me find that for you. Come over here to the epistle. I want to say Corinthians. That ain't got what I need. Yes, sir. 1 Corinthians chapter 4. Give me verse 7. 1 Corinthians 4. Matter of fact, make it 4 and 4. 1 Corinthians 4 and 4.
So for I know nothing by myself, yet am I not hereby justified. But he that judge me is the Lord. Therefore judge nothing before the time.
Matter of fact, just back it up to verse 1, man. Let's do it like that. 1 Corinthians 4:1. Shalom, Brother Marcus, man.
Say, let a man so account of us as of the ministers of Amashiach.
What's happening, Brother Omar, man?
The stewards of the mysteries of Elohim.
So he said the ministers or the servants of Amashiach or the Sharash of the Anointed One are guardians of the secrets of God. Moreover,
it is required in stewards.
It say it's what?
Required.
It's what?
Required.
Man, give him the Greek definition of required, man. I know everybody's smart, but let's just make sure.
That is zateo. To seek in order to find, to seek a thing, to seek.
Oh, he got to do what for?
To seek in order to find.
He got to do what?
To seek in order to find.
Hold on, man. I ain't know that ain't what that just said. So I'm just going to read Isaiah 34:16 one more time. He said to seek in order to find. That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, man. That ain't what he said, man. Matter of fact, go to Numbers 21:8 first. Numbers 21:8.
And Yahuah said unto Moses, make you a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole.
Shalom,
and it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he look upon it, shall live.
That's right.
And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived.
He lived.
And the children of Yasharal set forward and pitched in Oboth. And they journeyed from Oboth and pitched in Avarim in the wilderness, which is before Moab, toward the sun rising.
Indeed.
From thence they removed and pitched in the valley of Zered. From thence they removed and pitched on the other side of Arnon, which is the wilderness.
What happened?
That come out of the coast of the Amorites.
Mm-hmm.
For Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of Yahuah.
Come on with it.
What he did in the Red Sea and in the brooks of Arnon.
It's really about verse 17 we need, but just keep
and
on
at the stream of the brooks that go down to the dwelling of Ar and lie upon the border of Moab. And from thence when they went to Beer, that is the well whereof Yahuah spake unto Moses.
He said they went to the what?
To Beer, that is the well.
What happened at the well?
Whereof Yahuah spake unto Moses, gather the people together, and I will give them water. Then Yasharal sang this song.
What song they sang?
Spring up, O well, sing ye one to it. Say the princes dig the well.
They did what to the well?
Dig the well.
They did what to the well?
The well.
What else they do?
The nobles of the people digged it by the direction of the lawgivers with their staves, and from the wilderness they went to Mount Tanah.
They did it from the direction of their who?
From the lawgivers.
Now I want you to go ahead and tell them what dig means. Then I want you to tell them what direction means. And I'm going to read Ecclesiastes 12:9 on general principle. Because he said this is what's required of a steward. And it goes into something. I told you, man, my man's had made a post, man. I don't know if he was intentionally seeking to refer to certain people, but certain people definitely felt like he did. Now, I told you a conversation I had with a brother, man, and he good people's, man. He don't be meaning no harm. But a lot of brothers just feel like niggas should just teach. No, we're not. That people should just teach just for the sake of teaching. You feel me? And that's not how that works. Because that's a serious vocation. You understand? And he said it's required for a steward to be found faithful. He said that steward got to search. You know what I'm saying? Like to really administer the word to people, man, you got to be nice. You know what I'm saying? With the steel, you know what I mean? Earn your keep. You know, it says Ezra was a what type of scribe, Civic? A ready scribe. Skilled scribe, that's what it defined to. A ready scribe. That's a serious matter because you got people's souls in your hands. You know what I'm talking about? You got to make sure you're dispensing out good work. A lot of people out here putting out water whip, man. Trash, if you would. You dig? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, my dude just told me one time, man, you should just let people teach. I said I could, but then I'm going to go to hell afterwards, man. You just don't put somebody in front of somebody and just say teach some word because you feel like you can string together a couple precepts. Man, there's more to it than that. That's why I ask y'all certain questions, man. You're supposed to be able to dig out the nuance, man. I mean, you're supposed to have been searching it out. Not just searching it out for a doctrine or to prove a point. I tell you that all the time. It ain't about proving no points. Because you searched it out, he gives you the ability to prove a point if a point needs to be proven. You know what I'm talking about? But if you're going in the text with an explicit purpose to try to prove a point, the mindset you going into the word is faulty to begin with. Because this ain't battle rap, man. You ain't supposed to be battling with no word, man. You say you were telling somebody today you must be able to trek through the text with skill? Absolutely. Say off topic, he was walking on his way to the second job. I was walking by and I heard a Christian talk about how Christ came to save us from sin and death. Indeed it is. Because many people don't talk about it. So that ain't off topic. That's always on brand. You feel me? Because what I'm talking about, being skilled enough to preach Yahuah HaMashiach is what saves us from sin and death, which is a conversation a lot of people want to talk about. You know why a lot of people don't want to talk about it? Because they ain't sought it out. You know, East, remember I told you that a long time ago. Remember, you used to be like, man, you be telling these dudes are trash and you just be, but I don't be saying, I never said that from the aspect of, oh, I preach, I feel like I'm better than y'all. I have appreciation for the vocation. I understand the level of skill is required to be able to properly and excellently manifest the nature, power, love, and mercies and salvation of our God. You understand what I'm telling you? And these niggas is trash when it comes to technical skills and ability as it pertains to that. There are some very intelligent, intellectual men who deal with this word, you know what I'm saying, who are very, very intelligent men. But when it comes to manifesting the salvation, mercy, and love of our God, niggas is trash. Niggas is trash. You feel me? Shalom, my G. Niggas is trash, bud. Like trash. Because see, I'm talking about my soul, man. I don't really care about information. If the information don't lead to salvation, what was the purpose of the demonstration? It wasn't no purpose to it. You know what I'm saying? That was just a waste of time. We looking for the demonstration of salvation, man. You know what I'm talking about? But what we at with it, bro?
Number 21. That word for dig is kafar, to dig, to search for, to search out, to explore, to pry into.
To explore, to examine, you feel me? God damn, that orange tree cut my hands up. Go ahead, man. Give me a direction.
Direction ain't even there.
So this is why I want you to tell them what lawgiver is, because y'all should know what that's going to take you to.
That's called to cut out, decree, inscribe, set, engrave, portray, to govern.
Now go to Isaiah 33 and 22 and see who your lawgiver is, because he said they ought to do this at the direction of the lawgiver, to examine the text. Listen what it say.
For Yahuah is our judge, Yahuah is our lawgiver.
He's our what?
Our lawgiver. Yahuah is our king, he will save us.
So guess what? What did the Lord tell you to do? Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And what are we looking at this week? Seek you out the book of Yahuah and read. You know what I'm talking about? To dig, to search, and to examine. A lot of these people ain't searching the scriptures and see that they testify this man, which leads to eternal life. That's why he said, search the scriptures. Because in them you think you have eternal life, but they are they which testify of me. And that man said, you will not come to me that you might have life. That man said, you won't come to him. You won't search him out to begin to even come look for him. But let's take it a step further. Luke chapter 11, verse 8, because I already referenced Isaiah 34 and John 5. It ain't no need to do it again. Come on with it.
I say unto you, though he will not rise and give him, because he is.
Oh, make it 5 then. I want the whole play.
And he said unto them, which of you shall have a friend, and shall go unto him at midnight and say unto him, friend, lend me 3 loaves. For a friend of mine in his journey is come to me, and I have nothing to set before him. And he from within shall answer and say, trouble me not, the door is now shut, and my children are with me in bed. I will not rise and give you. I say unto you, though he would not rise and give him, because he is his friend, yet because of his importunity he will rise and give him as many as he needs. And I say unto you, ask and it shall be given you. Seek and you shall find. Seek and you shall what? You shall find. You shall what? You shall find. My God, today. Knock and it shall be opened unto you.
Many people ain't seeking. They seeking the wrong thing. You seeking information about the flesh. You ain't seeking the information of the Amunah that leads to the receiving of the Ruach. If a nigga tell you you can get the spirit by anything that pertain to flesh, that nigga lie and the truth ain't in him. And I tell that nigga to his face, I ain't gonna type it on no screen, my nigga. I want you to hear the tone of my voice. I want you to look me in my eyes. You feel me? I want you to smell my cologne. Today it is Chanel Lyon. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I want you to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, it's dead serious, my nigga. Like, man, that's serious, man. Read that again, my nigga.
And I say unto you, ask and it shall be given you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you.
John 1 and 12 on general principle. See, he said, and people don't seek after God. Like he said in Isaiah, there's no searching of his understanding. And we know that Yahuah HaMashiach has come and given us an understanding that we may know him that is true, and that we in him that is true. Even his son, Yahushua HaMashiach, this is the true Elohim in eternal life. But ain't no seeking of his understanding. Because remember, he opened their scriptures, that he opened their minds that they might understand the scriptures when he manifested that the whole book was about him. Ain't nobody seeking that out. But the lawgiver gave you the direction, and the lawgiver is Yahuah. So Yahushua is telling you that there it is. Letting you know Elohim is your lawgiver. He done gave you the direction to search it out, but you won't search it out. And the individuals who want to manifest the word don't have the mysteries of God. That's why they can't do it, because they ain't searched it out. My God, today. Come on with it, man. John 1:12 on general principle.
But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of Elohim, to them that believe on his name, which are born not of blood.
Not of what?
Not of blood.
So talking about your blood don't mean you no good, not do it, Sibby. What else?
Nor of the will of the flesh.
Oh, so ain't nothing about the desires of your flesh. It got nothing to do with it, ain't a man. What else it is?
Say, nor of the will of man.
Oh, so it ain't nothing got nothing to do with no flesh and blood. Son of Adam got nothing to do with it either, man.
But of Elohim.
It's got to be a God. And that's the part that people don't like. Because now it's out your hands. See, people want the play to be in their hands. They don't want to put it in his hands. But wouldn't you rather fall into the hands of Elohim than in the hands of man? You got a better chance at mercy with Yahuah than you do with man. My God, today. 1 Corinthians 4:1 one more time, man. Let Yahuah be esteemed.
So let a man so account of us as of the ministers of Amashiach and stewards of the mysteries of Elohim.
Again.
Moreover, it is...
Paul, tell them what stewards is one more time. Let's tell them what is a steward, man.
With the nomos, that is the manager of household or of household affairs.
A manager of what affairs?
Of household or of household affairs.
Matthew 13:51. And after that, Ecclesiastes 12:9. Because I told you, like, what my man was talking about is what he called independent prophets or independent teachers. You know what I'm saying? I can speak to that. You know what I'm saying? But I can't speak to that. Because I don't really know niggas personally who do that. But I know what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I think I mentioned this the other day. What my man is talking about is individuals who, he said that individuals feel like internet platforms is the replacement for an actual flesh and blood assembly where you can fellowship at. And it's really not. You know what I'm saying? And my man, I remember I had this conversation with my mans in Charlotte, right? Because he was like, that's the new spot, you know, the fellowship app was on the internet. I'm like, no, it's only like that because a lot of brothers are in cities where there's nobody of like mind in their mind who they could meet in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? And you really can't tell people to like move here, move there. That's something that, you know, they have to have a desire to do or they perceive that Yahuah is instructing them to do. So it's a lot easier for them to just do it like that. You know what I'm saying? I remember when we had the brother who played in the NFL, man. And I remember telling them like, yo, you know what I'm saying? It's some people in your city, you know, you could just pull up on them because this is 2015, by the way. So y'all know this is right. So I've always had this thought process because I told them, bro, it's always better to link in with people in person. You know what I'm saying? What's happening with you, man? It's always better that way. And I'm just talking about it as this aspect of human connection. You understand? See, that isolation and separation stuff, man, that's not of God. That's your stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's usually from the framework because this is somebody who want to do what they want to do and they don't want to have no accountability. Now, what individuals do in congregations for the most part is, niggas, like we were talking about before, niggas be trying to rule over people. But it's not really a position to be ruling over people. See, it's accountability, but see, people go too far with accountability because some people you want to accuse, you want to point the finger at. You know what I'm saying? That's not what it's about. If somebody out of pocket, they got to be held accountable. You know what I'm saying? It's like you ain't finna stone nobody, so you know that's not finna happen. So it's letting individuals know, hey man, that type of behavior is not acceptable. That's why I've always told you what the text say. If you know somebody doing something out of pocket, you supposed to say something to them. And if they don't stop the behavior and you have knowledge of it, then you bring it to the congregation so that they can be ashamed, so that others might fear. But see, don't nobody want to do that because y'all more concerned with protecting feelings Then when it comes to the ministering of the word of Yahuah, protecting feelings is the last thing on the agenda. Because you know why? It's not on the agenda. It's not nobody's job to protect your feelings. Protecting your feelings is why you in the predicament that you in at the moment. Because he said the carnal mind is hatred towards the law of Elohim, and it can't be subject to it. The word of God don't care about your feelings. You know why he don't care about your feelings? Because your feelings change, and he's Yahuah Elohim. He changed not. Yahushua HaMashiach the same yesterday, today, and forever. So how you feel today, you ain't going to feel like that 20 minutes from now. And when you seek to protect feelings, that is what shields individuals from accountability. That's what shields individuals from discipline. When I'm talking about discipline, I'm talking about instruction. That's what shields individuals from maturity and growth. Because you want them to stay in a particular position because you worry about if their feelings are going to be hurt. You should have thought about if your feelings were going to be hurt when you was doing things out of pocket. You wouldn't have had to worry about it. So when you're protecting people's feelings, you actually are an enabler and quietly a supporter of untoward behavior, whether you acknowledge that or not. You know what I'm saying? The same way before the internet with the tripping, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's not to castigate our people as a whole, but you got to ask yourself, like, why do we look at these people who promote degenerate culture, attitudes, behaviors, and thought processes? I'm not talking about the music per se. I'm talking about upholding the image of individuals who perpetuate and promote that. You don't even know these people. You know what I'm talking about? You don't even know these people. These people will perpetuate a certain thing to your child and have their child not participate in any of it. And don't participate. And there's plenty of them who done said it. Oh, I don't let my children listen to this. I don't let my children do this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like I was mentioning Wednesday, man, like, man, we the only group of people who feel like you have to participate in a certain type of behavior to be considered black. That's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Woman got to be loud and ratchet and whorish. He got to be a thug and a gangster, a drug dealer and a scammer. He can't just be a run-of-the-mill educated individual. You know why? Because the women don't like that. And no matter how y'all like to get on the internet and lie, y'all don't like that. So that's why that middle class, average, run-of-the-mill, intelligent dude faking like he a thug and a gangster because he want female attention because y'all really don't like that. Oh, he's boring. Why do you find excitement from a nigga who commit crime? A nigga who gonna put your life in danger. One who put his life in danger. Why that enamors you? Do you understand that says a lot about your maturity and your intelligence? You know what I'm talking about? Says a lot about it. We don't want to deal with that. Why would you want a woman who portrays herself like a whore, talk like a whore? When I say whore, I'm talking about a prostitute. You know what I'm talking about? How she will do anything, any type of sexual favors for remuneration and compensation. And this the type of woman you want to fool with versus this woman who over here doing X, Y, Z. Like, why does that even move you? See, we don't like to have them conversations, you know what I'm talking about? Because then you got to make it look at ourselves because we uphold these people. And I told some of y'all don't remember this, man. I remember when Bill Cosby first got arrested. And everybody was talking this, that, there, and the third. And I told y'all know Cliff Huxtable. You don't know William H. Cosby III. And your biggest mistake is that you are equating the image of Cliff Huxtable to William H. Cosby III. You don't know that nigga. You don't know what he into. You don't know what he like. You don't know what proclivities, the wickedness that he possesses. You don't know that man. We said the same thing when Nipsey Hussle died. You saying this, that, there, and the third. You don't know Aramis. You don't know that man. You know the image that they give you on TV. And you have to start knowing the difference. I don't give a damn how many interviews them people do. The reality of life is they're playing a role. And their role is to play to a particular character in order to sell you products. Because you don't know them people. And you have to stop thinking that you know them people. And truth be told, that is showing you the masterful job they've done at social engineering with definitely what's the word I want to look at? What word I want to use this here? Because I want to choose my words carefully. The devolving of our level of maturity, because that's childlike to look at a television person with awe and admiration of who you think they are. Grown adults shouldn't be doing that because we don't know these people, and we should have enough maturity to know. I don't know Jay-Z. I don't know Nas. I don't know Denzel Washington. I don't know any of these people. And you have to say that you have to have the ability to say, I have an appreciation for your art. And that's where it stops. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't know Denzel, what Denzel would do, because I don't know his manner of life. Because you can be anybody you want to be when the camera is on. But the real you is what you do when the camera is off. You know what I'm talking about? And we don't know these people when the camera is off. So we have to make sure that we make a separation. This is not new position. You know what I'm saying? I've always said this here because I had to make that known. People like, they doing Bill Cosby dirty. How you know they doing Bill Cosby dirty? How you don't know that he the freak nasty nigga that they accusing him to be? You know why you don't want to see that? Because you want to see Cliff Huxtable. And you want to believe that a character on a television show is representative of the man. Because you don't know that man. And the last thing you want is to have the image of this man shattered in your mind. But whose fault is it that you put these people on a pedestal? And you only put these people on a pedestal because of the characters they played, because they got to be regular black people. And you aspired and desired to be able to live the way that they live in this fantasy world because you're not surrounded by people who live that way. But when we get around people who live that way, you know what most black people do? They ridicule them. And they tell them that they act white and they talk white and they not black and they this and they that. All because it's not because they talk white or act white or do anything of the sort. It's because you're envious and jealous of the struggles that they did not have. Do you know what I'm talking about? Or the love and the comfort and safety that they had in their household that you perceive that they had because you don't know what they got going on in there. Because you know, most people feel like rich people don't have no problems. You don't know what them people got going on in that house, man. None. This is why people be silly enough to ask somebody, if anybody on earth, who would you trade places with? Because most people desire to be somebody else. Because they don't want their life. And they don't want to even be themselves. That's sad. You know what I'm saying? When you sit down and pause it. When you sit down, look here, man, we scream, we love the Lord, and you don't even want to live his life. But you profess him every day, but you don't even want to suffer in his life. You don't want to follow his footsteps. That's the world we living in, man. And I'm only saying this here because we got turned, and we shouldn't be passing that type of mindset off to our kids where they looking up to these goofy celebrities that we got going on now. You see all this stuff now that everybody talking about Puff. And look here, right? And like I said, during my time period, we already knew all this stuff about this nigga. Except for the freaky stuff, you know what I'm saying? The spreading of seminal fluid on your chest and all the other type of stuff. But you know what type of person he was? An individual who had no talent but wanted to be the man and had the connections and the abilities to get in the position to exploit people who were more talented than him. People that he wished he could be like. People he was really envious and jealous of. You know what I'm saying? But on the outside looking in, all you looking at is the money and the glamour. You ain't seeing what these people got going on. These people ain't no different than you. They just got money. And all money does is revealed, like it tells you in 1 Timothy chapter 6. It takes a man through many hurtful and destructive lusts and reveals the wickedness that is in the heart of the individual that possesses it, which is why he tell you, don't set your heart on riches and labor not to be rich. That's why he tell you that. That's why he said, give me food convenient for me and not. There's a reason why he tell you that. But don't nobody want to believe that. That's why he say, man, he said, you stand before me as my people, but you won't hear my words because your heart go after your covetousness. That's why he told you your life don't consist of the abundance of things that you possess. That's why he told you to set your treasures in heaven and not on the earth. There's a reason why he gave you these conversations. You see too many stories about all these people who got all this money and the pain and the misery and the suffering and the destruction that they have in their life, and you still desiring to be like them, and you still looking to them. When he told you envy not sinners and desire nothing that they have. There's a reason why he tell you all this. Go ahead.
See, and so much that the multitude wondered when they saw the dumb to speak, the maimed to behold, the lame to walk, and the blind to see.
What you read?
Matthew 15.
I don't even know how you got over there. I don't even know how you got over there. It's 13 and 51. You was in 15. That's what it was.
Saying, Yahuah said unto them, have you understood all these things? They said unto him, yea, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Then said he unto them, therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of Shamaim is like unto a man that is a householder,
which bring forth
out of his treasures things new and old.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 9. This is what happens. Everyone who's been trained in the kingdom of heaven. Go back to us to read that first part. What it is. Everyone that's taught, give them taught by definition. This is Matthew 13 and what? 52.
Mm-hmm.
Read it again and then give them the definition.
Say, then said he unto them, therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the Malkuth of Shamaim is
now,
like
Paul,
unto a
give
man.
them scribe and instructed, man. And we're just dealing with this from 1 Corinthians 4. And we work our way to the fools on the stripes back. I know we did most of the Deuteronomy 25 with the just weight and just measures on Wednesday before the internet went to acting silly. If I got to double back to something, we'll double back. The last thing we got left is the raising up a seed to your dead brother in Deuteronomy 25, and that'll be complete. Go ahead.
That is grammat use. That is a clerk, a scribe, a public servant, a secretary, a recorder whose offices and influence differ in different states. You got a religious teacher, so instructed that from his learning and ability to teach advantage may redound.
Now you say, teacher, what was one of them first definitions, man? Because this boy helpful.
First one is you got a clerk, a scribe, a public servant, a secretary.
A public servant. And that's the part that, and that's the part when it comes to teaching the word, that you are a servant. Your job is to serve. Read a Matthew 20 and 23 or 25. Matthew 20 and 25, and then you can give them the word of instruct in Matthew 13.
Say, but Yahuah called them unto him and said, you know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them.
Mm-hmm.
But it should not be so among you.
It should not be so among you.
Whosoever will be great among you,
let him
be your minister.
And
whosoever will be chief among you,
let him
be your servant.
And
even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered,
but to
minister
and to make his
life a ransom for men.
And unfortunately, in this line of work, and it can happen, and it just happens, and the text warns about it. So I don't know why anybody is going to be shocked by it, because human beings are human beings. You feel me? Some people want fame. Some people want notoriety. Some people want yams. Some people want power. Some people want money. You know what I'm saying? You seen Samuel's sons were judging for filthy lucre. You know what I'm talking about? You seen Eli's sons who had disrespected the sacrifice. You see that. So this is not a new thing. Like when you see Peter say, hey, man, don't do this for filthy lucre's sake. When Paul run down the qualifications of a bishop, filthy lucre can't be one. Like these things are because you're dealing with human beings. And the thought process of just because this person say he represent God, that he may not have a proclivity to these things is an erroneous thought process. Because again, what did the man tell you? You should know him by what, Simon? So that's what you're supposed to be looking at. The fruit of their deeds. You feel me? Shalom, Tanale. You got to be looking at the fruit of their deeds, man. That's what you're supposed to be paying attention to. Man, you can make your mouth fry fish, man. But your deeds got to line up with that, and that's how you going to know. But see, we don't do that. Because you enamored of a title, an outfit, some verbiage, and we black, or we Israelites. And not, okay, he ain't got no self-control. He ain't got no love. He ain't got no mercy. He ain't got no faith. He ain't got none of this. No goodness, no nothing. No joy, no nothing. No patience, no nothing. But yeah, God sent him to teach. Like, is you dumb? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. He ain't even taught himself nothing. But see, we don't want to do that. They don't want to do that, do it. Because you know why I told you this a long time ago? Our people like cult of personality and you like gimmicks. Because you'd rather be a part of something than to be a part of Yahuah. Just don't be a part of something just to be a part of something. You know what I'm saying? Be a part of something where Yahuah is present. So that you can feel his presence and be quickened unto life everlasting. Not just, I'm here because I'm here. Nah, man, ain't what you want. Because you ain't going to get nothing out of that. All you're going to get is years going by of wasted time and lack of development. That's what's going to happen. Now, there are also, consequently, you have the reverse of the situation. You can be ministered the greatest word that could ever be ministered unto you. But if you don't have a desire to serve, fear, and love God, then it ain't going to matter. You see what I'm saying? I know people who get caught up because I'm thinking about my man's. My man's be going hard about this here, like the word church. He can't stand it. You feel me? I ain't ever been one to care about that. Because while we can spend time bandying about words, and we can miss out on the mental, spiritual evolution and development of an individual, harping about words of no consequence, because we're not focused on developing the person. You know what I'm saying? Because what he just said, you're a public what? Servant. So your job is to serve these people. And if you're a public servant, a minister of the word, your job is a form of Mashiach in these people. So that means that you're there to help and aid their development. You know what I'm talking about? You know who else you're supposed to aid? Shalom, Sister Kelly. Helping their development? Your children, my nigga. Your children. See, you can that's if you've had children. But as a man, your goal, we talk about this all the time, is to add value. So if you can add value in any shape, form, or fashion, if adding value, let me just rephrase that. If you are an instructor of something, I don't care what it is. You understand? If anything you can think of, your job is to aid in the development of the person that you're teaching, or the people that you're teaching, or the class that you're teaching. If you're not aiding in the development of the people who you are teaching, then your teaching is trash. It's trash. You're useless. You're no good. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference if the people are resisting development. But if you are not even giving any tools to aid in the development, then you're not really skillful at what it is that you're doing. Now, we're going to read something in Ecclesiastes 12 in a minute. You know, another thing that a teacher's supposed to do, Civic? What's another thing you believe a teacher should be able to do, Civic? Besides aiding in development. What some of y'all think something a teacher should be able to do besides aid in development?
What's the twist dominant things that you're teaching?
Oh, that's aiding in development right there, good sir. Oh, these doggone spam text messages. My God, today. What y'all say? Civic kind of stumped. He's stumped right now. No, not be a steward of the house of Yahuah. We talking about in general. Oh, I ain't see that too. Shalom me. Make teachers, not necessarily rightly judged. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that's something that a lot of people like to mention, that a teacher should make other teachers. That's not necessarily true. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the number one thing that they should be seeking to do, is to make teachers, because everybody doesn't have the patience and the temperament. You know what I'm talking about? To teach individuals. Because see, what a lot of people don't realize is you could have the information, but you don't have the temperament. You know what I'm saying? And to teach other people, you have to be extremely patient. You know what I'm saying? Extremely patient, extremely focused. You know what I'm saying? Deliberate. Now, he mentioned caring for the flock. You know what I'm saying? Instruct God rightly about. Indeed, and all these things. This one thing I'm looking for in particular. It's really two things, But either one I can take. Pause. You know what I'm saying? In regards to the definition of those two separate words, though they're synonymous, they're slightly different, but they're synonymous at the same time. But yeah, everybody doesn't have the temperament to teach people, which is why some people struggle with being a parent. You know what I'm saying? Because they may love their children, but they don't have the temperament to instruct them. Which is why I've always told you, just because you have kids don't mean you can homeschool, because everybody doesn't have the temperament to do it. Because you do have to have we were talking about this yesterday, like, a lot of black people have the same shared experience growing up. You doing homework, you don't get it right, your people yelling at you, you know what I'm saying, threatening to whoop you. That's not the proper temperament to teach nobody. See, when you're teaching people, you cannot be quick to be getting frustrated, because once that happens, you ain't no benefit to them. You know what I'm saying? But Ecclesiastes 12:9, it's going to lead into, in my humble opinion anyways, this is not a definitive fact, but in my opinion, this is something that every teacher, I don't care what it is that you're teaching, by the way. I'm not isolating this just to the word. I'm talking about teaching people in general in a multitude of different vocations, though the main primary focus of our conversation is clearly the word. But Ecclesiastes 12 is going to lead into the one thing that a teacher must have the ability to do. It may not be the number one thing, but they have to have this ability. Ecclesiastes 12:9. Go ahead.
And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and words, and that which was written upright, even words of truth.
Words of truth.
The words of the wise are as gold.
The words of the wise are as what?
Are as gold.
As what?
As gold.
Where they come from?
And as nails fastened by the masters of assembly.
Given from
one shepherd.
See, there goes the direction of the lawgiver. But continue.
And further by these, my son, be admonished.
That's good. Now tell him what golds is. He said the words of the wise are as golds.
That's the bone. That's a gold.
You know what golds do? They motivate. You know what I'm saying? An individual who is an instructor has to have the ability to motivate and or inspire. What does inspire mean by definition? It is fill someone with the urge or the ability to do something. You know what I'm talking about? See, people look at inspire, but they don't really what it is. It said to fill them with the urge or the ability to do something. What you think Yahuah was doing with you? When you sit back and you look at what he was doing, was he not filling you with the urge or the desire to do something? Now let's look at what it is to motivate. Because, a lot of people look at, they'll say, is there any? Yeah, it is. It is. I'd have to sit back and think on a verse. Now, the word for motivation, because, a lot of people are called a Christian pastor a motivational speaker, right? You know what I'm saying? And they mean that in a disparaging fashion because they say they don't get a text. But guess what, though? Motivation, by definition, is the reason or reason one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. So that means when you're motivating someone, you're giving them the reason on why they should behave a certain type of way. You know what I'm talking about? So when he say the words of the wise as goals, are they not motivating you to behave a particular type of way? When this man says, the kingdom of God is at hand, believe the gospel and repent, is he not motivating you by definition? And I mentioned this is why I go back to the point of words have meanings. You know what I'm saying? Every man who preached the word should be able to motivate and inspire you, because they should fill you with the ability that you have the desire to do something. They should be able to give you reasons on why you're going to behave in a particular type of way. You know what I'm saying? So when we give the reason that he say all those that call on the name of the Lord will be saved, and that he gave you power to become the sons of God, not by the will of blood, not by the flesh, not by man, but of God. So there's a reason. When we talk about seek out the book of Yahuah and read, and then he say seek and you shall find, that's a motivating reason. When he said the disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master, that's inspiration. When he say, be you merciful as your Abba and Shamahim is merciful, and be ye perfect as your Abba and Shamahim is perfect, that's inspiration. Because if you can't take a group of people and galvanize them and inspire them to give them the urge that they have the ability to do something and give them the reasons of why they should do something, you're ineffective as an instructor. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what I mean. You can disperse information, but can you motivate and inspire? And look at what motivate and inspire means by definition, and not the ideological definitions that we give it. Because most people think it's just a feeling. You feel what I'm saying? We're not talking about a feeling. Motivation and inspiration leads to action. You know what I'm saying? If you genuinely motivated, it leads to action because you have a reason to do something. See, our flesh, he say, man, my flesh rests in hope that you will not suffer your Kadash one to see corruption. That's motivation. I got a reason to get up here on this tree and suffer because he won't leave my soul in hell. You know what I'm talking about? So I got reasons to get up here on this tree and die. You know what I'm talking about? When this man tell you, hey man, stretch out your arms to him and he will receive you and put iniquity far from your tabernacle. He done gave you the inspiration that you have the ability to do something, which is to stop sinning. When he tell you be born again, and everyone that is born of the flesh and born of the water and the ruach, you know what I'm talking about? And he tell you that when you're born of God, you do not commit sin. You cannot sin because your seed remain in you. That's inspiration that you have the ability to do something. Like straight up and down. And you know what most of our people suffer at? Because in reality, Black people don't believe in inspiring a young man that he has the ability to do something. We like to extinguish his ability to do something by discouraging him, by telling him he can't do it. We don't like to motivate people. Instead of giving people the reasons of why they can do something, we like to give them the reasons of why they can't. So when you look at people tell you can never stop sinning X, Y, Z, they're actually sapping away your motivation because they're trying to give you reasons of why you can't. Give me Romans 8:34. You understand? What he finna mention in Romans 8:34, you can look at it as inspiration and or motivation if you so choose. And I'm mentioning all this when we talking about in this Ecclesiastes 2 also, when he says that the fool walk in darkness, and I myself perceive that one event happened to them all. Then I said it to my heart, as it happened to the fool, so it happened to me. And we talking about these stripes that get put on a man's back, and from Deuteronomy 25, you feel me? Because we come into 1 Corinthians 4 to read the verse when he say we fools for a Mashiach's sake. And then we go read another verse where he say stripes are for a fool's back. My God, today. Go ahead.
Said, who is he that condemned? It is the Mashiach that died, yea, rather that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of Elohim.
That's right.
Who also make intercession for us.
That's it.
Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach?
Who shall what?
Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach?
Child,
tribulation,
or
distress,
or
persecution,
or
famine,
or
nakedness,
or
peril.
As it is written,
for your sake we are killed all the day long.
We are what?
Counted as sheep for the slaughter.
Nay.
And all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us.
Pause. You see, that's motivation. He giving you reasons of why you should do something. And he's giving you these reasons while talking about what we talked about last week in the midst of adversity, when he say, man, my grace is sufficient for you. For my strength is made perfect in weakness. This is how the words of the wise are as goads, because they motivate. They give you the reasons of why you should do something. You say facts in the same way with any endeavor. As soon as you want to get better or do better, some take offense like you're doing it in spite. And you know why people take offense to this? And I told you this before, because people don't want to get left behind. Because everyone is not motivated. Everybody doesn't find the reason to do something. Everyone is not inspired, meaning they don't believe that they have the ability to do something. Again, one thing that you know that we discuss constantly and consistently, because it lines up with the word, is that you have to check your mindset. Your mindset will dictate the way your feet go. Again, it's to feel with someone with the urge or ability to do or feel something. Again, the filled one with the urge or the ability to do something, especially to do something positive. And it says, historically, the word originates from the Latin word inspirare, which means to breathe into. highlighting the idea of breathing life, energy, or divine influence into a person. And what is a verse that black people love to reference? Life and death and the power of the tongue. And then guess what we turn around and see in the text? When the Lord rose from the dead, he breathed into his disciples and said, receive you the Ruach HaKodesh. The same way that Yahuah breathed into Adam and he became a living soul to give him the inspiration, the ability to do something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only mentioning this here because you have to change the thought process of how you look at a word. Not going by, he's a motivational speaker. Man, anybody who preaching the word should motivate you to give you the reasons of why you should do this. If they not, are they really a preacher when he told you the words of the wise are as golds? The words of the wise motivate. But you know what you want to tell you? Nah, this is historical stuff. This is, nigga, you ain't motivating this person to do nothing. That's why they don't do nothing. That's why they still sinning. That's why their faith still weak. That's why they still carnal, because you haven't given them the reasons why they should. What we do is we give banal reasons. Because you an Israelite, man, that ain't going to motivate nobody, my nigga. Maybe for a month or two. But when, like he said, man, when that persecution or that tribulation or that famine or that distress or that trouble or that sword or that nakedness come, then that Israelite ain't enough motivation to keep it pushing, my G. I can promise you that. I can promise you that they're going to need a little bit more motivation than that, my G. They're going to need a little bit more than that. When somebody come talking about locking them up, they're going to need a little bit more motivation than that. Yahushua's motivation wasn't that he was an Israelite. He said, man, I know that you will not leave my soul in hell nor suffer your Kadash one to see corruption. Therefore, my flesh rests in hope. He had tikvah, an expectation. This motivation was the promise of his Abba. That's what motivated me to give me the reason to suffocate to death on my own blood. Because I know you won't leave me in this grave, man. I know you won't leave me here to be destroyed, man. That's a reason to do something. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a reason to why you doing this. Most people ain't got no reason. You just floating. That's a dangerous place to be, my G. You know what I'm talking about? Come on with it, blood. Where we at with it?
Romans 8.
Read 34 again on 35 again on general principle.
Say, who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for your sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter.
That's right.
Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us.
For I am
persuaded
that neither
death nor life,
nor
Malachim,
nor
principality,
nor
powers,
nor
things present,
nor
things to come,
nor height,
nor depth,
nor any
of the creatures
shall be able to do what?
Separate us from the love of Elohim, which is in the Mashiach Yahushua our Lord.
Well, you got to have a whole lot of inspiration and motivation to feel like that, ain't it, man? You know what I'm talking about? Say he told them, boy, come follow me. Indeed. Got to give them, listen. You have to have the ability to motivate and inspire, and you have to be an effective communicator. Being an effective communicator is just not the ability to string words together. You know what I'm talking about? Being an effective communicator is to be able to make your message plain, simple, easy to digest, that a person can take it and make it actionable. You know what I'm saying? If the person can't take the information remember, I tell y'all this all the time, man. When I read that book, Niggas and Guys, Volume 2, when I was in high school, and he say, what good is it if you could do all this talking and your audience don't understand you? It was worthless. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never forget that. Man. You talking about something that I read when I'm 17, man. You talking about 28 years later, man. I'm 45. You know what I'm saying? Like my man said, you know, a lot of people there, they just want to be personalities and this, that, there, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Nigga just can't be they self. You trying to appease to a particular type of group instead of manifesting the word of God and let your Father in heaven be esteemed by the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach and let the chips fall where they may, man. You know what I'm saying? Some people going to fall away. Some people going to be steadfast. Some people going to play games. You ain't got nothing to do with that, man. Just put it on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Put the money on the floor, man. Put the money on the dresser. Leave the money on the couch, nigga. Straight like that. You're gonna cop and blow. That's on you. Because we got to make sure that we minister for Yahuah, not for the ears of man. When you turn around, and a lot of people get caught up like that because you get swayed because you want to minister for the people. When I say minister for the people, you're not serving the people according to the mandates of Yahuah. You want to serve the people according to the mandates of their desire, and that's going to get you caught up. Because that's what Aaron did. You're supposed to learn from that. He helped them build that golden calf because that's what the people wanted. But that wasn't what his job called for him to do. That's how Saul got caught up. I did this for the people. Can't do it for the people. People lead you astray. People want a lot of things. You know what I'm talking about? Man, what we need to go at, blood? I can't even remember. Back to 1 Corinthians 4. Let's just do it like that. Anything else come to mind, it come to mind. You can give them the definition of required when you get to it. 1 Corinthians 4.
I said, let a man so account of us as ministers of Hamashiach
and
stewards of the mysteries of Elohim.
Moreover,
it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful.
Tell him what it required be. One more time.
That is the tale, to seek in order to find. You
got to seek in order to find. You got to, in order for you to be a steward that's found faithful, man, it's required that you search the scripture. It's required. You know what I'm talking about? This ain't a suggestion. They're mandatory. You feel me? Go to 1 Timothy 3:1 so you can see. But not 3:1. You get straight to 3:8 so you can see why it's mandatory. Then we can read Titus 1 just on general principle because that's how I feel.
Say, likewise must the deacons be grave, not double-tongued, not given to much wine.
No, back me up to 6, man. That ain't what I want.
Not a novice, lest
be lifted up. Make it 5, man. Make it 5. 1 Timothy 3:5.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the assembly of Elohim?
What up?
Not a novice.
Not a what?
Not a novice.
Can't be no rookie.
Lest being lifted up with pride, you fall into the condemnation of the devil.
You can't be no novice or manifesting the word, man. For you to be a steward, to have the mysteries of God, boy, you can't be no rookie. You can't be new to the game, my G. Because you would have had to been out here searching. Meaning you would have had to been going through them passages, man. Remember, every scribe which is instructed in the kingdom of heaven. Did we read the word for instructed? We didn't read the word for instructed, did we? Go ahead and read the top end of that verb, man, and give him that definition, man. Matthew 13:52, man.
Then said he unto them, therefore, every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of Shamahim is like unto a man that is a householder.
Let's bring forth
out of his treasures
things
new and old.
Give him instructed, man. We already seen what a scribe is. That's a public servant.
That is Mathaku, that is to be a disciple of one, to follow his precepts and instructions.
Hold on, say that again. To be a what?
To be a disciple of one.
What else?
To follow his precepts and instructions.
What else?
To make a disciple, to teach, to instruct.
Listen, and in order to be his disciple, you got to forsake everything that you have. Ain't that what he said? He said, if you ain't forsake everything that he had, he can't be your disciple. And you know, in Hebrew, a disciple is a taladim. That's a taught one. That man can't teach you if you can't abandon everything you got. That man said you got to hate father, mother, child, lands, and your own self also. You can't have nothing that come before this man. That's why everybody's not a soldier. Get 2 Timothy 2, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's why everybody ain't fit for it. Remember, I told you the same brother I'm talking about. I had a conversation with him talking about why you don't take a day off. Nigga, you sound dumb. Nigga, this ain't no damn 9 to 5, my nigga. You take a 9 to 5. You put PTO in at a job, cuz. You take a vacation from your business, my nigga. Man, when you preaching the work, well, you're a public servant. Public service ain't got no day off. And the fact that we even think that you're supposed to take a day off is a disgrace and abomination before God. That's why most of these niggas not fit to do it. Because you niggas won't do it every day because it's an inconvenience to your life. Because what you concerned with is I need to go on vacation. You know why most niggas ain't fit for it? Because your old lady got you by your nuts to tell you what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. And you'll cut God's shirt to please her. You won't tell her to sit her square head down somewhere. Or the word got to be moved. You sound like a dumb woman. Same way Job said, you sound like them foolish women. Man, you ain't supposed to let no woman dictate to you when you work for God. Man, woman, if you don't get out my face. If I want to preach every day, the word going to get preached, and you going to sit your behind down and listen to it, or you going to leave. Hell, you mean. That's what he mean by you can't pass. Man, you got to hate your wife also. Man, your wife can't come before the word, blood, and that's a hard pill to swallow. You understand what I'm telling you? What the boy say? That's a hard saying. Every man ain't built that way. And that don't mean that you disparage your wife. That don't mean that you neglect her, this, that, and the third. She just don't come before the word. She just don't come before the word, blood. She don't come before that. And that's hard for people to accept. Because now she in your ear talking about she feel this, that, there, and the third, and now you feel like you got to put God on the back burner to satisfy her. And you got to be willing to forsake everything that you have. Can you try that? And they say, boy, can you buy that? Because that's a hard pill to swallow, man. And everybody not built like that. And everybody don't have a woman who understand that, who's dedicated to assisting you in the ministering of the word, because she feel like her desire should come first. My God, today. Because you know what they're going to tell you? Your first ministry is your home. Your first ministry is to God, fool. Because before you had a wife, you were serving God, fool. Before you had kids, you were serving God, fool. To sit here and say your first ministry as a household is a disgrace and abomination before God, because you should have been serving God before you got that. And serving and getting a family shouldn't have been your motivating factor for serving God, because the minute you lose that, your motivation gone. That shouldn't be your reason. Your wife shouldn't be your reason why you love God. Your children shouldn't be the reason. The reason should be because he's merciful, gracious, abundant in goodness and truth, long-suffering, showing mercy unto thousands, forgiving sin, iniquity, and transgression. That should be your reason. Because when you were dead in trespasses and sin, Hamashiach died for the ungodly. That should be your reason. But that ain't too many people's reason. Your reason is other people, instead of he who redeemed you. Your mama ain't your God. Your daddy ain't your God. Your husband ain't your God. Your wife ain't your God. Your children ain't your God. Yahushua HaMashiach is your God. Your Elohim is your God. He your kinsman redeemer. He redeemed you from death and gave you life. That should be your reason. You know what I'm talking about? That's why he say the love of Hamashiach constrain us. And we judge that if one died for all, then we all dead. And that we should live for him who died and rose again for us. And we don't have that mentality. Our mentality is, I'm doing this for people, and if people don't like it, I'm going to cut God short to satisfy them. I wish I would. I wish I might. Yeah, I ain't on none of that. You know what I'm saying? I seen that chick. What's that fake doctor name, man? 2 Timothy 2:1, by the way. What's that fake doctor name, man? The Cheyenne Bryan chick. She tried to tell Shannon Sharp he was overcompensating because he said work come first. Man told you why he grinded so hard. You know why he said he grinded? First thing he said the only thing I was concerned with was getting my family out of the situation that we was in. They was poor. They ain't no overcome. I heard this man say I stay in survival mode because all that man can think about is the times when we was poor. So his motivation for success is that I never return to that. That's his motivating factor. And he said he knew in his mind no woman would ever come before that. And see, that bothers a lot of women, because what you mean your job come before me? A lot of men don't have that mentality because you put your woman before God. You put your woman before you. You put your woman before your purpose. You's an idiot. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know what Yahuah gave Adam before he gave him Eve? He gave him a purpose, man. He gave him a purpose, man. He said, tend to my garden, man. Till it and work it. He said, but now it's not good for you to be alone. Guess what she was supposed to do? Help you do what I gave you to do. Not take you away from what I gave you to do, but to be an aid, help, and a relief to what I gave you to do. That's the standard. That's the order, man. But you don't look at it like that. You got grown women saying, what this man gonna do to make my life easier? That's not my job. My job is not to lighten your load. God didn't put me here to lighten your load. That John praises all our dog, man. You know what I'm talking about? Man, Yahuah gave him a purpose to till his ground. That's the first thing he gave him. He gave him dominion. Then he say, till my ground. Man, ain't no man to till it. That's your job, man. Work that. Work that. So that's your number one objective. What he give you to do. I ain't talking about on your natural side of things. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about if he give you something to do inside that body, that's what he give you to do. That can't come. Read, man, read Luke 14:25 for we read 2 Timothy, man. Now, I'm not telling you this here, man, for you to disrespect your old lady. Now, you disrespect your old lady, do all that there. You's a goof. You know what I'm talking about? Now, we talking about people who are in the business. You know what I'm saying? See, if you're not in the business, this don't pertain to you. You know what I'm saying? If you have, what I mean by that, if you have a desire to be in the business, then you got to understand that. Because ain't nothing wrong, because people like to ridicule people for having a desire to be in the business. He said, man, if a man desire the office of a bishop, he desire good work. Ain't nothing wrong with having a desire to be in the business. You got to look at it, man. If you want to be a son of God, this is the family business. You feel me? Ain't nothing wrong with wanting to be in the business, man. You just got to understand, do you have the mind, the temperament, the passion, the desire, the drive, the discipline, the faith to want to be in the business? Say newly planted, it makes sense why he told Paul, I'm going to show you how much more you'll suffer. Absolutely. Run that for me.
Saying there weren't great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them,
what he said?
If any man come to me and hate not his father,
hate not his who?
Not his father,
or
mother,
or
wife,
or
children,
or
brethren,
or
sisters,
or
yea, in his own life also,
can't be my
disciple.
Tell him what hate means.
That is Maseo. That is to hate, to pursue with hatred, to detest, to be hated, to be detested. Or by extension, to love less.
To love less. And in this instance, that's what that means. So when he say to love less, who is he talking about in contrast to? To him. You know what I'm saying? To him. To your maker, which takes you back to what? Have no gods before me. You know what I'm saying? That's all that means. See, a lot of people don't like to read that last definition. To love less. And if you are not willing to put them second, even your own self, because you heard that part too, let's not push that to the side. He said in your own life also, he can't teach you. And if he can't teach you, that means you can't seek it out in order to be a steward that's found faithful with the mysteries. You know what I'm talking about? This is why not very many men have them. Because most men are not willing to love their father, their mother, their wife, their children, their sisters, and their brothers, and most importantly of all, their own life also less than they love their God. They ain't willing to do it. Ain't willing to do it. You know what I'm saying? But everybody want to teach though, and everybody want to serve. That's why I say, nah, blood, you sound stupid. Come on, you should chill with your family. I got 6 days to chill with my old lady, man. You know what I'm saying? We got work to do, blood. That man say, man, anybody putting his hand to the plow looking back, what he ain't fit for, Civic? He ain't fit for the kingdom of God. He say, any man putting his hand to the plow, you gonna put your hand to the plow and start working and look back, blood? Oh, no, man, I gotta go home. My old lady, man, she want me to come home, man. I ain't spending that. Man, get the hell out of here, bro. The disciple said, man, we forsook all. What we gonna get? Niggas ain't got that type of heart, man. You ain't got that type of heart, man. Because that woman got you by the balls, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? She got you by the balls instead of Yahuah having you by the heart. Ain't that a problem? That's a funky mix right there, ain't it, man? 2 Timothy 2:1. Don't misinterpret what I'm telling you now. This is what I just told you. Yahuah's supposed to have you by the heart, but your wife got you by the balls, so you can't let Yahuah hold your heart because you worry about what she gonna say. You leave the block to get the yams and miss the pop. Look at it, man. I used to fool with this chick when I was hustling, man. She used to get upset. She'd be like, man, she hit my phone, man. She'd be like, what you doing? I'd be like, man, I'm on the clock. She said, man, you always on the clock. I say, shoot, them bills on the clock. You feel me? I said, little muffin got to eat, baby. You know what I'm saying? And I got love for you, too. Please don't think I don't fool with you. That's what people hear. You make time for what you want to make. I make time for God, nigga. Yeah. That's what I make time for. You ain't never going to come before that. Ever. Ever. It ain't happening. You know how some people say never? We ain't saying never. We saying you ain't ever. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Ain't a woman that beautiful. Ain't no yams that good. Ain't no figure that shapely that I put you before my God. That's insane, man. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't going to be like our Trick Daddy felt, man. We say, am I feeling soft, getting weak, just falling in love, and I'm falling in love. Oh, no. You don't know nothing about that? I know you don't know nothing about the Trick Daddy, man. It's all great, man. I ain't even mad at you. You ain't from down here. You ain't supposed to know. 2 Timothy 2. And again, that don't mean you don't love your wife, man. You know what I'm saying? That mean you don't care about your wife. That don't mean you don't care about your children. That mean they don't come before the work. If you in the business. Now, nobody shouldn't come before your God if you're not in the business. You shouldn't be compromising and sacrificing the word of your God for nobody to begin with. But if you're in the business, absolutely not. 2 Timothy 2:1.
You therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in the Mashiach Yahuah.
And the things
that you have heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit you to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also.
Notice he say, once you get that work, you got to commit it to who?
Faithful men.
Commit it to who?
Faithful men.
Tell them what faithful is, that man. Remember, he says it's required for a steward to be found faithful to a man. Go ahead.
That is pistols. That is trusty, faithful.
We got to be able to trust him. Got to be able to trust him. If you can't trust him, can't give him that pack. See, some of you niggas run up on the plug. If you ain't trustworthy, can't get that boy that pack, man. He ain't gonna know what to do with it. He gonna skim off the top. He gonna take a wing. He gonna be like smoking. Instead of selling it, you smoking it. Come on, man. Keep on going.
So you therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahuah HaMashiach. No man that war entangle himself with the affairs of his life.
That he made.
Please him who have chosen him to be a soldier.
Man, go ahead and tell him what war means, man. You can give him entangled and you can give him affairs. Then we can go back to 1 Corinthians. That boy going crazy.
Strat Yahuah, that is to make a military expedition, to lead soldiers to war.
To lead soldiers to war.
To do military duty, to be on active service, to be a soldier.
To be on military duty. You know what I'm saying? And remember, he taught my fingers to war. And we didn't talk about this before, man. It's a war for souls. Shalom, Brother Shaul, man. And if it's a war for souls, man, you can't be entangled. Look at, man, if you talk to any man who's been in a war zone, the last thing he can think about is his old lady in the turn. It's going to get him killed and the men with him. Because he worrying about the wrong thing. Go ahead.
The entangle, that is...
Boy.
That is... Impleco, to entwine, to enweave of a thing, to entangle, to involve in.
Can't be involved in what? The affairs of this life. What them affairs is, man. Dino boy.
That is pragmatia. That is prosecution of any affair, business, occupation.
Can't be entangled. If you a soldier for real, you can't be entangled with any of the cares and concerns of this life, so that you can please him who chosen you to be a soldier. Tell him what enduring hardness is, man, because of course that's going to tell you about dealing with the anxieties, if my memory serves me correctly.
That is cogopathio, that is to suffer, to endure evils, hardships, or troubles, to be afflicted, to undergo hardship.
Got to endure some sufferings. If you can't do that, you ain't fit for the job. Because guess what? Anybody who take the job, 99.9% of the time, it's going to be some manner of hardship or difficulties that you have to suffer. This is where your faithfulness get proved out. Because if he that is faithful of the faithful, the chief shepherd of them all, had to endure hardships, and he did nothing wrong, I guess you know you're going to have to. And if you think that you're not, you sadly mistake. Come on back to 1 Corinthians 4. 4:1. Come on down, son.
Say, let a man so account of us as of the ministers of Hamashiach, and stewards of the mysteries of Elohim.
Moreover,
it is requiring stewards that a man be found faithful.
But with me,
it is a very small thing that I should be judged of you,
or
of man's judgment.
I judge,
not my own self.
For I know nothing
by myself.
Yet
am I not hereby justified.
But he that judged me, hey, go over there with that. Go over there with that, son. Get up, son. Come in, son. Doing it. That's what I thought. Go ahead.
For I know nothing by myself, yet am I not hereby justified, but he that judged me is the Lord.
Therefore,
judge nothing before the time
until the
Lord comes,
who both
will bring to light the hidden things of darkness,
and will make
manifest the counsels of the heart.
Then shall every man
have praise of Elohim.
And these things, brethren,
I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sake, that you might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written.
Not to think of
men above that which is written.
Not to think of
men above that which is written.
Now, this goes back to what we were talking about. You know what I'm saying? We look at athletes and entertainers above what is written. This man telling you, men of God, that you shouldn't look at people above that which is written. It goes back to the key point. Stop putting people on pedestals. I never understood that thought process before the word of putting somebody on a pedestal, because if you put somebody on a pedestal, they can't do nothing but disappoint you, because they'll never be able to live up to the pedestal that you put them on. And 99.9% of the time, this person didn't even ask you to put them on this pedestal or even insinuate by their behavior that they wanted to be on a pedestal. I say that because some people move, talk, and behave like they want to be put on a pedestal. We're not going to deny that happens, because we know that it happens. You know what I'm saying? But more often than not, most people put people on pedestals. Don't put nobody on no pedestal. Don't look at nobody above that which is written, and you'll never be disappointed. And don't put no expectations on people. The only expectation you usually have somebody is for them to be themselves or to live up to the standard that they profess to. Because if somebody profess, I'm a servant of God, then there should be an expectation that they do what? Serve God. That's not an unreasonable expectation because you volunteered that profession. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you say you own, then I expect you to be on what you own. Look at, man. I ain't gonna tell you no lie, Sylvia. You'd have been dying laughing today. Boy, that nigga Jimmy, when it was going off on his baby mama, man, it was classic information. But I only mention this here because there's something that he said to me before. And I had the unfortunate misfortune of being a party to their conversation. But he said he was thinking about something that I told him yesterday. And it's something that I learned from a woman, which is that you don't never ask for no yams. She said, if you got to ask for yams, that woman don't like you like that. You know what I'm saying? When she like you like that, you ain't never got to ask because she ready to get it. He said he went to think about that because you know how you be going back and forth with that woman, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, this woman say she want to serve God. But what she really wanted to do was control this man with yams. And I told that man that. You know what I'm saying? That this is what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? Because when somebody say they want to serve God, you want to cut sex off, but you're still doing everything else. And he called her out for that today. And when she asked, he told me they want to bring me into it. And she was stuck. Because she was like, she asked me something about something, and she was like, well, what if they've been, what about betrayal? I said, I can't speak to that because I ain't never been with nobody and had no baby on them. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I'm like, you know, okay, he hurt you. Cool. You need time to heal from that. Cool. But you don't get time to heal from that perpetually, hold me emotionally hostage. See, we had a conversation on Clubhouse about this about 2-3 years ago, and they got mad with me about that because I'm like, no, you're not going to hold me emotionally. Okay, I could have did you dirty. Cool. Once we came and reconciled, and I know it's just not going to be automatic for you, but if it happened 5 years ago and you still trying to hold that over my head, man, I'm finna dip. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm not finna be held emotionally hostage by you. And I don't give a damn about you talking about what you did. I don't want to hear that, man. And that ain't just got to be something as extreme as infidelity. You feel what I'm saying? But if it says in the book that Yahuah blot out your transgressions and mention them and remember them no more, now I know this is not going to be automatic, you understand? Just because see, now you have to make sure you don't fall in this trap of saying you're going to forgive somebody for something, but you know that you don't want to. When I say you don't want to, meaning that you'll forgive them, but you don't still want to be fooled up with them. It's just better to go your way if you know you don't want to be fooled up with them. You know what I'm saying? Because the fallout that can come from that, it can be detrimental to both parties. It's not just going to be detrimental to this person. It's going to be detrimental to both parties. And that's not good. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he pretty much told her. Like, hey, man, I told him, man, it don't sound like y'all be cool with each other for real. Man, that woman went to calling that man F niggas and all that. He said, what Jesus had in that? You know what I'm saying? But people don't be realizing this, and this is what I told them. An individual, and I told y'all already know this, can talk to you about the word all day long, but people looking at your deeds. And if your deeds don't match up with the word, they're not going to take you seriously. Because that's what she said. You don't respect what I'm doing. Because he was like, man, how you in the club on Saturday and the church on Sunday? You still doing the same stuff. You just sealed off yams from me. But you know that you sealed up. And I told her this is her biggest mistake. And a mass majority of women make this mistake. If you want to serve God, that's phenomenal. But just because you do don't mean that man do. And you can't try to do things to manipulate that man into doing that if that's not what he want to do. That goes back to my reason of that a man or woman can't be your reason. Because a lot of people reasons is not Yahuah. You have external reasons that have nothing to do with God. No woman, you shouldn't get with no man and be like, I'm going to serve God because I want to be with this man. You stupid. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna even say you stupid. You duplicitous. And you're not even duplicitous with that man. You duplicitous with yourself. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't even gonna say you do. And as a man, you supposed to not just deal with a woman because when she willing to serve God, so I'm gonna be with her. You the one who's stupid. You know what I'm talking about? Because you should have made sure that woman want to do that for herself. And for Yahuah, not for you. You know what I'm talking about? Because the minute she don't fool with you no more, she gonna give you pure hell. She gonna give you pure hell, and it ain't gonna be worth it. Remember, people used to look at me crazy and say, man, I'm not getting with no woman and teaching her how to serve God. No, absolutely not. She got to be doing that already. She got to be on that when I meet her. I'm not putting you on to nothing. Because you ain't finna get with me and you doing this because you like me. I don't need you to like me to serve God. I need you to like God to serve God. Because it's going to cause conflict, and it's not going to be a matter of if, it's going to be a matter of when. And what I mean by that is, eventually, she going to test you to see if you're going to compromise the word for her. You know what I'm saying? She going to test you to see, man. See, if the woman already serving God for herself, and she got a fear for God and a love for God and a faith for God, she would never disrespect her God by even insinuating or intimating or even directly and openly asking you to do something like that. But when she only serving God so she can be with you and benefit or being with you, she gonna side you. She gonna try you. It's gonna happen. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't got to, what that boy said on, you know about cell therapy? Damn, that boy don't know good in my, I can't even say nothing because you ain't married to no woman from the South. So disregard. But that boy said in that record, man, he said, you can listen to me now. You're going to believe me later on in the future. You know what I'm talking about? Which is kind of redundant, ain't it? You're going to believe me later on in the future. But that verse still was hard, though. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, nigga, you can listen to everything I'm saying right now. You'll believe me later when you see it, though. So that was going to happen. And it's not because I'm so wise or I have prophetic insight. It's because human behavior is human behavior. And if you've seen enough human behavior, you can get strong predictors of what people are going to do because people are creatures of habits. People operate in patterns. You know what I'm talking about? And when you know the patterns, you can give a good predictive outcome. And I've seen that type of pattern before. And that's been the outcome every time. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always tell y'all to pay attention to the nuance. Pay attention. You know what I'm saying? When you pay attention, you can be able to decipher real quick what type of person you're dealing with. Because again, pay attention to the patterns. Human beings don't switch up too tough. You don't figure that out, then? People don't switch up too tough now. People don't like change. They're going to give you the same thing every day, man. You know what I'm saying? Whether good or bad. Come on with it, bro. What we at with? 1 Corinthians 4 still. Mm-hmm. Run. What verse we in?
Verse 6.
Yes, sir. And these
things, brethren, I have in a figure.
This is 1 Corinthians 4 and 6. Go ahead.
Transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sakes, that you might learn in us to not think of men above that which is written.
That none of
one of you be puffed up for one against another.
For who make you?
To defer from another.
And what have you?
That you did not receive.
Now, if you did receive,
why do you esteem as if you had not received it?
Now you are full.
Now you are rich.
You have reigned
as kings without us.
And I would to Elohim.
You did reign.
That we also
might reign with
he
you.
said, man, he said, envy you for my sake. I will hope to God that he would make all his people prophets. Ain't that right? Come on with it, man.
Say, for I think that Elohim has set forth us, the apostles, last,
as it were appointed
to death,
for we are made
a spectacle unto the world.
What else?
To Malachim and to men.
We are
fools for Hamashiach's sake.
And that's really what we came here for. But we had to set the whole pattern, especially when we got to the endure hardness and all that type of stuff. Man, when you're dealing with these men say, man, we fools for this man's sake. Give them the definition of fool there before we look at Proverbs 19:29. You get to the stripes to the back. You feel me?
That is moros, foolish. You got absurd.
He said, we foolish, we absurd. So a lot of people, man, what we doing, this is absurd. Even to other Bible believers, if they don't believe that Yahushua is the anointed one, they feel like you absurd. They call you an idolater. This one dude say you in the new toilet. All these type of things that people say, man, they think you stupid. But let's look at Proverbs 19:29. This ties back to Ecclesiastes 2, which is taken up to Deuteronomy 25. And we looked at the stripes from the aspect of heal, and I still need to hit the blueness of the wound because I ain't finished that on Wednesday. And that's unfortunate. We done dealt with it before. It ain't the first one.
So judgments are prepared for scorners and stripes for the back of fools.
Stripes for the back of what?
Back of fools.
Tell them what stripes is, man. You go to war, nigga.
That is mahalumah. That is strokes or blows.
Now we read where they scourged them, didn't they? He say stripes are for whose back?
Fool's back.
Go back to Ecclesiastes 2:12. You feel me? And go, whoa, nigga. I'm gonna tell him, man. You gotta be willing to go to war out here, man.
And I turn myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do that come after the king, even that which have been already done? Then I saw that wisdom excel folly, as far as light excel darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walk in darkness. And I myself perceived also that one event happened to them all. Then I said in my heart, as it happened to the fool, so it happened even to me.
So as it happened to the who?
To the fool.
It happened to who?
To me.
Now, Paul just made instance of all them things he said he suffered as it happened to Mashiach, it happened to them. He said, we fools for Mashiach's sake. Now, I want you to go to Proverbs 20 and 30. Tell me what that say.
The blueness of a wound cleanses away evil, so do stripes the inward parts of the belly.
Say what now?
Say the blueness of a wound cleanses away evil.
Tell them what the blueness of a wound is, man.
It is kaburah, bruise, stripe, wound, blow.
The same thing we just read, didn't it? Go ahead, man. The blueness of a wound do what?
Cleanse away evil.
Cleanse away what?
Evil.
By his stripes we heal. So when we go back to Deuteronomy 25, when we see him taking these stripes, and you see as it happened to the fool, so it happened to me. And we fools for Mashiach's sake. The same way that a fool suffered, it happened to him. And we fools for Hamashiach's sake because he, as the same way it happened to a fool, it happened to him. Read verse 13 Ecclesiastes 2 one more time.
Then I saw that wisdom excel folly, as far as light excel darkness.
That's right.
The wise man's eyes are in his head.
The wise man's eyes are in his what?
In his head. Fool walk in darkness.
Fool walk in what?
In darkness. And I myself perceived also that one event happened to them all.
Happened to them all.
Then said I in my heart, as it happened to the fool, so it happened even to me.
As it happened to the fool, so it even happened to me. What happened to that fool, Sivit? What happened to him? He got stripes on his back. That's right, Brother Nate. He got stripes in his back. Go to Proverbs 7 real quick. What it is, verse 14. Go tell you something, the same thing.
He said, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. Therefore came I forth to meet you, diligently to seek your face, and I have found you. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. To the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves, for the good man is not at home.
He ain't here.
He has gone a long journey. he had taken a bag of money with him, and will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech, she calls him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. He go after her straightway, as an ox go to the slaughter.
Ox go to the what?
Slaughter.
What else?
Or as a fool to the correction of the stocks.
Give him correction of the stocks.
Correction is musar.
That's teaching, right?
Discipline, chastening, correction.
What's them stocks?
And that is a kes, anklet, or bangle. Tinkling ornament.
Or them chains, man. You feel me? But nevertheless, he says a fool is taken to the stocks. Now we know that no son is without chastisement, for all that are without chastisement is a bastard. And we know chasten your son while there is hope, spare not for his crying. And the chastisement of our iniquity was laid upon him, and by his stripes he was healed. And the blueness of that wound cleansed away the evil. That's what it said, right? Then wounds cleanse away the evil. Hebrews 9:13 on general principle. And what does this take us back to? This is our motivation. This is our reason. That blueness of this man's wound, them stripes gave you Rapha. They made you heal. They made you whole. Say, what are these wounds in your hand? See, these are the wounds of the house of my friend, or in the house of love. My God, today.
Set forth the blood of bulls and of goats, and the ashes of a heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctified to the purifying of the flesh. How much more shall the blood of a Mashiach, who through the eternal Ruach offered himself without spot to Elohim?
To do what?
Purge your conscience from dead works.
To do what to your conscience?
Purge your conscience.
To do what to it?
Purge your conscience.
Well, tell them what purge is, man. Now you watch that movie. I ain't never seen them movies.
That's katharizo, to make clean, to cleanse.
The blueness of a wound cleanse away evil. My God, today. Let Yahuah be his thing. You see how that worked? And you see how it's all the same word pointing to the same thing. So that wound should be your inspiration and also your motivation. Because that it should be your inspiration. Because now if the blueness of the wound cleanses away the evil, then that should give you to know that you have the ability to do something. And then the reason because of that wound, because this man suffered. Let's read Isaiah 49 and 10. 49 and 10. Make it 7.
Thus saith Yahuah, the Redeemer of Yasharal, and his Kadash one, to him whom man despised, to him whom the nation abhorred.
That's right.
To a servant of rulers, kings shall see and arise. Princes also shall worship because of Yahuah that is faithful. And the Kadash one of Yasharal, he shall choose you.
Go ahead.
Thus saith Yahuah,
what he said?
In an acceptable time have I heard you. In a day of salvation have I helped you.
That's right.
I'll preserve you and give you for a covenant of the people.
He say he gonna preserve him. You know what preserve means? To keep. And he say I'm gonna give you to a covenant of the people. Blueness of the wound cleanse away evil. We read about him giving them a covenant of the people in chapter 42. How is he giving them to a covenant of the people? This is my blood in the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. You got people telling you ain't in no new covenant. You's a dummy. How you gonna get a man for the covenant of the people if you ain't in it? I mean, he died for nothing. But just like we talked about plenty of times before, a lot of people clearly are ignorant of contracts because you want the full execution of being in a contract. Again, I keep it in the simplest terms. A pro athlete could sign up. I give an example because his player is in my mind. Y'all probably don't know who this is. This man played first base for the New York Mets. His name is Pete Alonso. He just signed a 5-year, $155 million deal with the Baltimore Orioles. Do you know that contract went in effect the minute he signed it? And he ain't played an inning. You know what I'm saying? Here's another case in point. The head coach for the University of Michigan just got fired, right? You know what he got fired from? A morality clause in his contract. But his contract wasn't complete because it was for how many years? 4 or 5? I don't know how long it was. You know what I'm saying? A contract is in effect. If the contract's complete, see, guess what that means? The contract is over. The fullness of a contract does not denote when you enter into a contract and men get in the word and act like they dumb. Because I bet you understood this before you was in the word. We were talking about this the other day. It's too many dudes in the world who suspend all manner of intelligence and common sense when they come into. I don't even understand it. You know what I'm saying? Or y'all playing a role. Because ain't no way in the world you this damn stupid. You know what I'm saying? And I say that disrespectfully also. Because ain't no way in the world you this stupid. You know what I'm saying? I would have to imagine that you did an extensive amount of labor to get to the point of being this stupid. You know what my man told me today? He said, man, the other day, man, he was clowning somebody. I thought it was hilarious to me. This man said, man, if there is a reincarnation, he said, you coming back in this life being this stupid had to be a penalty. That junk had me down. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, a contract is in effect the minute you sign it, not at its completion. That's why I say this is the new covenant. Listen, man, the covenant of Abraham was in effect the minute he entered into it. Do you realize that one part of that covenant didn't come in effect until Yahuah, son of Nun, brought them in the land? Do you know how long that was in between from the time he made a covenant with Abraham? Book tell you in Hebrews 11, Abraham them never even seen the land. Matter of fact, he said Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob dwelt in the land of promise as a stranger. You know what I'm talking about? Bro, that junk is ridiculous, bro. Oh, see, everybody's still teaching people. Man, I wish I had the 2 original tables of stone so I could turn them things sideways and just walk down the street and slap niggas in the mouth with it. Because you stupid. But it also shows me, all jokes aside, it also shows me that a lot of brothers may have not actually have ever been in a contract before. Because truthfully, when you work at a job, that's not a contract. You know what I'm saying? You know, a contract is for a set amount of time, for a set compensation with certain parameters. Now, when you sign up for a job, technically that's not really a contract because contracts can be negotiated. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, this man signed 5-year, $155 million. You know what they also give you in the NFL and the NBA sometimes, more so in the NFL. You know what they give you in the NFL when you sign your contract? A signing bonus. And guess what that means? That contract is in effect when they gave you that signing bonus. You ain't played it down. I guess the contract ain't in effect because he ain't played yet. You don't hear nobody say that. But this man shed his blood, and he said, this is my blood for the new covenant or the new contract. Matter of fact, let me just say this here. Or for the Kadash, you know what I'm talking about? Bereath. You know what I'm talking about? Or make this new agreement with you. You know what I'm talking about? And then you read in the text, we say, I'm going to give you for a covenant of the people. You know what I'm saying? So he's telling you, I'm going to take somebody and I'm going to sacrifice them for the people. You're going to be the covenant, because the covenant is of no force while the testator lived, because the first covenant was sanctified with blood. That's what Exodus 24 tell you. You're supposed to know that. You're supposed to know that. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to know that. Joanne, let him go. Go ahead. Where we at with it?
We go with Isaiah 49.
Nope. Isaiah 49 and what?
Verse 8.
49 and 8.
Thus saith Yahuah, in an acceptable time have I heard you, in a day of salvation have I helped you, and I'll preserve you and give you for a covenant of the people, to establish the earth, to cause to inherit the desolate heritages, that you may say to the prisoners, go forth.
Go to the prisoners what?
Go forth.
What else?
To them that are in darkness, show yourselves. They shall feed in the ways, and the pasture shall be in all high places.
Come on.
They shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor sun smite them. For he that have mercy on them shall lead them, even by the springs of water shall he guide them.
Come on.
And I'll make all my mountains a way, and my highway shall be exalted. Behold, these come from far, and lo, these from the north and from the west, and these from the land of Sinim. Sing, O Shamahim, and be joyful, O Arats, and break forth.
He's coming up what we want in a moment. Listen what he say.
O mountains, for Yahuah hath comforted his people.
He's done what to his people?
Comforted his people.
That's because he can't comfort you if he ain't giving for a covenant of the people.
and will have mercy upon his afflicted.
He can't have mercy on his sufferers, those who were suffering or going through toil or trouble, if he ain't gave them for a covenant of the people. What else?
So for Zion said, Yahuah have forsaken me.
He has forsaken me.
And my Lord have forgotten me.
He forgot me.
Can a woman forget her sucking child?
Can I forget my sucking child?
That she should not have compassion.
That boy ain't gonna stop. Let him all about it. Go ahead, read it again.
Say, can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, they may forget.
But I haven't forgotten.
Yet will I not forget you.
Why?
Behold, I have graven you upon the palms of my hands.
I have engraven you on the what?
The palms of my hands.
I have engraven you on what?
The palms of my hands.
Luke chapter 24, verse 39.
Behold, my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Handle me and see.
Behold, my hands and my what?
And my feet, that it is I myself.
What he told Thomas to stick his hands in the holes in his hands?
And say, handle me and see, for Ruach have not flesh and
bones.
John
20 and 27. That's why you see him with them marks in his hand. He say, man, I can't forget you when I got this on here, man. I look at this, he say, hey, these are the wounds that I got in the house of Lord. That's what he said.
Then said he to Thomas, reach here your finger and behold my hands. Reach here your hand and thrust it into my side. Be not faithless, but believe.
Be not what?
Be not faithless, but believe.
Back to Isaiah 49.
Verse 16. Behold, I have graven you upon the palms of my hands. Your walls are continually before me.
Read 15 again, though.
Say, can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, they may forget,
but I
will not forget you. Behold, I have graven you upon the palms of my hands. Your walls are continually before me. Your children shall make haste. Your destroyers and they that made you waste shall go forth of you. That's
good, man. That man say, man, you are always before me. How could I forget you when you're written on my hands? Huh? How I'm going to do that? Because by his stripes you healed. He was wounded for your transgressions. When he made his soul an offering for sin. That's what he said, ain't it? My God, today. Deuteronomy 25 and 1 again, just on general principle. We attack this from about 2-3 different angles.
If there be a controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judges may judge them, then shall they justify the righteous and condemn the wicked. And it shall be if the
That's how Yahuah was justified. Because by the knowledge of our righteous servant, he justified many. He went through all that suffering. He was justified. Hebrews 5 and 10 on general principle.
Called of Elohim a high priest after the order of Melchizedek, of whom we have many things to say and hard to be uttered, seeing you are dull of hearing.
Make it 5 and 8. I told you wrong.
Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience
by the things
which he suffered.
That's right.
Being made perfect,
he
became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him.
What else?
Called of Elohim a high priest after the order of Melchizedek, of whom we have many things to say.
You see that there, the captain of your salvation was made perfect through sufferings. John 10 and 28. Now tie into what? You got to be specific, because when y'all say that, I don't really know what y'all be referring to.
Saying, I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish. Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Abba, which gave me them, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Abba's hand.
Now you know from no, I mean that's a little different. That's the Genesis 26 when he say, and Abraham gave everything he had unto Isaac. You know what I'm talking about? Everything that was his father's was given unto the son. You know, the palm of his hand, say like this here, like they saying, "Oh, you have abandoned us." And he said, "How can I forget you when you written on my hands?" You know what I'm saying? So read Zechariah 13 and 5.
But he shall say, I am no prophet, I am a husbandman, for man taught me to keep cattle from my youth.
Mm-hmm.
One shall say unto him, what are these wounds in your hands? Then he shall answer, those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends.
Tell them what friends is, man. For those who don't know what's there.
That's Ahab.
Love. These are the wounds that I got in the house of love. John 15 and 13.
Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
You know what I mean? So when he telling them, you graven upon my hands, that's to remind them of the wounds that he got in the house of love. Well, with the Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. You know what I'm talking about? Deuteronomy 25 and 4. I'll touch on this one here, then we'll swing back to what we didn't get to finish because the Wi-Fi went out with the just wait and just messages. And then we probably get off here because I'm not just going to be standing on here just for the sake of standing on here. Because we can deal with the raising up a seed, but I don't know how long that might, what that might engender.
So you shall not muzzle the ox when he tread out the corn.
Now, we talked about this not too long ago. You not do what? You won't do what?
Muzzle the ox when he tread out the corn.
1 Timothy 5 and what? What that was? 13, 14. Give me the 1 Timothy 5 and 13.
He's saying, with all they learn to be idle, wandering.
No. 17.
Say, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. For the scripture saith, you shall not muzzle the ox that tread out the corn, and the laborer is worthy of his reward. So we talked about this not too long ago. I'm not going to go into this in an extended amount of detail. Did man say, hey, do what to the elders? Say, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine.
Now, labor in the what?
In the word and doctrine.
And what else?
For the scripture says, you shall not muzzle.
So this telling you, if there's an individual that rule well, and especially, he said especially, because that's what that verse is talking about, is spiritually. This is not talking about muzzling an ox that tread out the corn, but if there's an individual who's doing labor, you're not going to feed him. It's basically what he telling you, which is basically meaning you're not going to feed, you ain't gonna feed your beast. See, go to Proverbs 12 and 10, where it's pertaining to this particular passage, as it pertains to this here, right? At least with an animal. Go ahead.
A righteous man regard the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel.
The tender mercies of the wicked are what?
Are cruel.
That's crazy when they tell you that the mercies of the wicked are cruel. Ain't that something? That means the compassion of the wicked are cruel. What you think that means? That means the compassion they got is terrible. It's coming from the wrong place. But when you look at a righteous man regard the life of his beast. So, of course, a Zadok man knows the soul of his beast. Beast here is Behemoth, Bat, hay, meme, and hay. Beast, cattle, animal. Beast, call of all animals. Cattle, livestock. You know what I'm saying? So when you sit back and you look at this here, right, it could be also mean a mute or a dumb beast. But more important, that it's livestock. It's an animal that's doing some type of labor. And this animal is doing some type of labor. He said the righteous will regard the life of his beast. So then when you say you won't muzzle the ox when he tread out the corn, or in this verse, tread out the corn ain't even there. It just says when he treads out. So I got to say it. Let's look at what tread out means. And again, this is the Titus in. So we already talked about this not so long ago. Some people might not hear it, and that's probably why I said in my mind to keep on rolling with it. When you look at tread out, it's douche. Dalit, U, and Shan. To tread out, to thresh, to tread, to trample on, to be trampled on, to thresh, to break, to tear, to thresh. This means is he coming out here and he doing something. No, Carlton, we're not interested in crypto training. But you don't want to risk your money? He said, I'll coach you. He said, you're going to coach y'all. How to turn $200 into $3,500 in 3 days. No losses, no sending money. That sounds like you going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? Or you getting scammed. Ain't nobody turning no $200 or $3,500 unless you selling drugs. You understand? Or you gambling, like really gambling, like playing poker, or you got the shooting craps. Huh? You know about that? Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up, shake them. 7-11. Hit the back door, little Joe. I picked up my cash flow. Then we played bones. And I'm yelling domino. You know about that? No. Damn. He don't know about that day in South Central LA. Today was a good day. This nigga here want to sing the party. Get this nigga out my house. And she thought we ain't here. You ain't know about that when that boy was interviewed on the podcast with his son, and he was like, man, say, how you feel that this song's about your mom? That man say, F you. That joke was so funny, bro, because that joke is about his mom. When he say he scooped up Kim, and he said, that's his wife. That part of the song, he's really talking about Q's son's mama. That joke was funny because he paused when he clicked in his brain. When dude asked me, how do you feel that song's about your mom? And he paused, man, F you. Yeah, ain't nothing you can say about that because the song is about your mom. Now, that's not a bad part because he's married to the woman, been married to her for over 30 years. But imagine the dudes who done made songs about dudes' mamas, and your mama was a whore. You know what I'm saying? That's got to be embarrassing if you find out, dang, he made this song about you, mama. Be glad that some of y'all weren't born when niggas' mamas was going to Freaknik. Because I don't know if y'all knew about that when they were doing that Freaknik documentary, but it was a lot of women who were nervous, boy. There's a lot of women who were nervous, boy. Because see, back then you ain't had no social media, and you ain't had no smartphone. So if you ain't have a camcorder or a Polaroid, you know what I'm saying, or things of that nature, these things weren't documented. These things is nothing but memories in people's minds. Same thing that went down in Daytona. There's a lot of people be embarrassed for the things your mama did down there, boy. Shamed. Just shamed. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? What the hell they got going on? But come on with it, man. No, so listen, right? So read 1 Timothy 5 and then we'll move on. And then after that, Matthew 10 and 13? Man, I did not know orange trees had pricks on them like that. That nigga stabbed me. Decent.
Small?
Yeah, man. I had cut that whole down the other day, but I was grabbing the doggone branches and throwing them in the dumpster.
Up with them citrus trees, man.
Shoot, he learned. Go ahead.
Say, let the elders that rule well, verse 17, be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. For the scriptures say, you shall not muzzle the ox that tread out the corn, and the laborer is worthy of his reward. So go to, what's the next thing? Next verse, I said. It says, against an elder, receive not an accusation.
So Matthew 10 and 14? So all he's instructing you to do is that you would regard the life of your livestock. Because again, that goes back to, if this man is faithful and he searched it out and he's been found faithful as a steward and he enduring infliction, he telling you, hey man, y'all should regard the life of your beast. Which is why he say the word of labors of the higher, you won't muzzle the ox. Just so you understand, this part of all that part by searching the text. We know it's a lot of niggas get on here, man. People soliciting for your resources and begging and this, that, and the third. But this ain't something where he telling this man to tell you that. This man is instructing Timothy, who's a teacher of the word, that these are the things that the people should be instructed in, that they should know that. You know what I'm talking about? Because the Lord told you the labor is worthy of his hire. So that means that these men would be threshing in hope because they knowing, hey, man, we doing what we do. We have an expectation because we work for a man who's faithful. Go ahead. Matthew 10 and 14.
And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when you depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. Truly I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city.
Go ahead.
Behold, I send you forth as sheep into the midst of wolves.
Wolves.
Be you therefore wise as serpents
and harmless
as doves.
What else?
But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils.
They sure will,
and they will scourge you in their synagogues.
They're gonna beat you.
And you shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake.
We did past that, man. You could go verse 7, but that's still good to hear, because that's part of the, you know what I mean? Part of the job. You feel me?
He said, as you go, preach, saying, the Malkuth Shamim is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely you have received, freely give. Provide neither gold nor silver nor brass in your purses, nor script for your journey, neither two coats, nor neither shoes, nor yet staves.
That's right.
For the workman is worthy of his meat.
Now he's referring this to what the Lord said with Paul, right? But this also pertains in your law with the Levites. Now, I'm not going to go on this in great deal. We in Deuteronomy 25, so we have to look at it, or we wouldn't be doing it properly. Because they were workmen and they were worthy of their meat. Their meat was the food that they ate at the altar. Why did they get that food at the altar? Numbers 3, verse 1. Because it ain't going to hurt, because you need to know the law anyway.
These also are the generations of Aaron and Moses in the day that Yahuah spake with Moses at Mount Sinai. These are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nadab, the firstborn, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the priests, which were anointed, whom he consecrated to minister in the priest's office. And Nadab and Abihu died before Yahuah when they offered strange fire before Yahuah in the wilderness of Sinai. They had no children. And Eleazar and Ithamar ministered in the priest's office in the sight of Aaron their father. Yahuah spake unto Moses, saying, bring the tribe of Levi near, present them before Aaron the priest, that they may minister unto him.
That they might what?
Minister unto him. They shall keep his charge and the charge of the whole congregation before the tabernacle of the congregation to do the service of the tabernacle.
To do the service of the tabernacle.
They shall keep all the instruments of the tabernacle.
That's good. Now, Numbers 18 and 8. Now, we have a video. I don't know what channel it's on, but it's from years back. Where it talked about the Levites not having an inheritance, and that their inheritance is Yahuah, and it's no different than the priesthood of Melchizedek. You know what I'm talking about? Which is, of course, where we just read what Paul was talking about, how he said the apostles were set last with the amount of sufferings that they may have to go through, and how he talked about telling Timothy that he might have to endure hardness because there's a level of things that they have to go through where they may not have the abilities that somebody who's not in the ministry is going to have. You know what I'm talking about? And this, it also goes into the aspect of communal. Now, again, a lot of individuals, like my man was like, how do we deal with setting up a council and this, that, there, and the third? You know, I ain't with none of that. Because ain't no need to set up no councils, a group of men to do this to this man or this man, because the individuals in a particular location should be able to handle that themselves. See, the problem is we be wanting to build councils with brothers in this state and that state and this city and this city, instead of focusing on, let's make sure that all the brews that are in the city that you in, let's start with that. You know what I'm talking about? That we can all get tapped in together. So if there's issues, that the brews in that city can handle it. Because guess what? That's what they would have did in the past. See, there wouldn't have been no councils to have to get into. You just would have, hey, man, where the apostles at? We'll go holler at one of them, and there, because that's what they did in Acts 15, ain't it? But see, we don't do those things because we setting up councils. He told you, man, he said firstly apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers. That's how your counselor, like we try to reinvent the wheel and complicate the simple. The man already told you how to handle these things. And when you look at a lot of these letters, these are issues that are dealt with in the city that they in. I can't handle an issue in Chicago, in LA, in Detroit, in Louisville, in New York, in Charlotte, in Atlanta, because we're not there. You know what I'm saying? There should be men in those. If it's 15 congregations in Atlanta, which of course is probably more. You know what I'm saying? All these people should be tied in together so these things can be handled amongst those people who actually live amongst each other. You understand? But see, nobody wants to do that. And there's a multitude of reasons why nobody want to do that, which I'm not going to get into those reasons, you know what I'm saying, that I perceive them to be. But nobody wants to do that. And that's why those things aren't there. because everybody wants to stay isolated to themselves. Now, the number one reason, in my opinion, is I think people are more concerned with people taking away followers. But I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. This is not a competition, nor do you have exclusive rights and an authority over where people fellowship at. You shouldn't even care. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't even care. The only reason why people care is because you want power or you want yams or both, and money. Because what does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Because it should be a type of deal where everybody know it's 15 different assemblies in this city, and if I want to fellowship over here this Shabbat, I'm going to go over here, and if I want to go over here on this Shabbat, this ain't got nothing to do with the men who minister the word, because you got to pump on the block that you got to pump on. But whoever come through is whoever come through, because they didn't have no membership roles. It wasn't doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even that serious. That's new nigga stuff. Well, that's serious to you. That's my member, this, that, then, the third. Or you only feel like I only want to be over here with these people. And that's your business. I'm just telling you that in this text, you see that the people didn't do all that. Unless you talking about what's in 1 Corinthians 1. You see that segue? That's a smooth segue. First Corinthians chapter 1, verse 5. Unless you're thinking like this, and if you're thinking like this, guess what? You carnal. Go ahead.
Say that in everything you are enriched by him in all utterance and in all knowledge.
That's right.
As the testimony of Hamashiach was confirmed in you.
That's right.
So that you come behind in no gift, waiting for the coming of our Lord.
That you ain't lacking in nothing. You feel me? Go ahead.
Who shall also confirm you unto the end, that you may be blameless in the day of our Lord, Yahuah HaMashiach.
What do you say though?
Elohim is faithful, by whom you were called into the fellowship of his Son.
That's right.
HaMashiach our
but
Lord.
What else Paul say though?
Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord, Yahuah HaMashiach,
that you all
speak the same thing
and have
no divisions among you, so that you be perfectly joined together in the same mind.
In the same what?
In the same mind.
Why?
And in the same judgment.
Why?
For it had been declared unto me of you, my brethren.
What they told him?
By them which are of the house of Chloe, that there are contentions among you.
What type of strife they got?
Now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am of Paul.
I'm of who?
I am of Paul.
I'm of a who else?
And I'm of Apollos.
And I'm also a who else?
Of Cephas.
Oh my God.
And I of Hamashiach. It's Hamashiach.
Pause. Now look at this here. I'm of Paul. I'm of Cephas. I'm of Apollos. I'm of the Lord. Look what Paul tell him though.
Is Hamashiach divided? He
says, this man divided. Let me tell you something real, man. And I done said this before. I'm going to say it again. Is the Lord divided? Absolutely not. Because what? Because you at IUIC, or you with the UPK, or you at Assembly of Firstborn, or you at IOG, or you at AIM, or you at BOW, or you at what they call them? Straightway. They're being divided. Nah, you niggas goofies and you identifying with men. You know what I'm talking about? And that's your problem. That's what everybody's problem is. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you ain't supposed to identify with, nah, man, we identify with the Mashiach, man. What is you talking about? I wasn't sacrificed for you. I didn't rise from the dead from you. And no man a part of any other assembly on this planet did it. And because we think like this is why congregations in individual cities can't be connected, or niggas beefing about teachings, about doctrines and whatnot. Nigga goofy. You know what I'm saying? But you could still be cordial and you could still be tied in with people, man, regardless. But everybody say they nation building though, ain't it, man? Everybody say we community though, ain't it, man? Niggas only want to be community on the internet, man. Niggas want to slap five with a nigga for real. And I'm not telling you this because I'm just talking. This is something we didn't attempt to do, man. Niggas don't really want to be fooled up with us, man. We ain't come at them sideways or nothing. My nigga, we ain't trying to infringe, nigga. We trying to build a bridge, goofy. You know what I'm saying? But you niggas worry about the wrong thing. Because niggas not real niggas, man. You niggas really don't care about everybody. Like, you care about the people who you feel like you have stewardship or influence over. These niggas don't realize the stuff you claim you want to do, it could be done on a broader scale if niggas tap in. It's 7 days out the week, blood. But you know what the issue is? Niggas only want to pull up on Sabbath. They don't really want to do nothing the other 6 days. So then it makes it difficult to get other things done. Because I only want to fellowship with these people over here. Because they're my friends. I know them. Man, the people in the first century ain't moved like that. They ain't moved like that. You know what I'm saying? If there was a synagogue in Corinth, anybody who believed in the word was trying to get to that synagogue in Corinth. And if there was two synagogues in Corinth, then guess what? Them two synagogues knew each other and they fooled with each other. They didn't sit back and say, I'm over here. But of course, in Corinth, he's saying we're dealing with this here. I'm of Paul, I'm of Cephas, I'm of Apollos, I'm of Amashia. Read it again. It's not the way to go, blood. It ain't. It's really not. It's not of God. He said, I'll give you one heart and one mind and one way that you might fear me, that it might be good for you and your children after you. That's what the book says. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 or whatever. Whatever.
Verse 12.
1 Corinthians 1 and 12.
Say, now this I say, that every one of you save. I am of Paul, and I have Apollos, and I am of Cephas, and I am of Mashiach. Is Mashiach divided? Was Paul crucified for you?
Was Paul crucified for you?
Or were you baptized in the name of Paul? I thank Elohim that I baptized none of you.
I ain't baptized none of you.
Crispus and Gaius. As any should say that I had baptized in my own name.
My God, today.
And I baptized also in the household of Stephanus. Besides, I know not whether I baptized any other.
Now, some people get upset. That man said, I wasn't sent to baptize. I think he about to say that. Go ahead.
For Mashiach sent me not to baptize.
Oh, he did.
But to preach the gospel.
To do what?
Preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the sake of Mashiach
what's happening with
none effect.
Listen, that man said, this man ain't sending me to baptize. He's sending me to preach the gospel. And you know why I wanted him to read that? Because everybody feel like everybody who preached the word is supposed to do everything instead of focusing on what the man was sent to do. Can I baptize? Sure I can. But my focus is to preach this gospel. You feel me? Same way Peter said, you think I'm supposed to be waiting on tables? I say this here again because people have this unreasonable expectation that a preacher, pastor, apostle, whatever title, job title he may have is supposed to be any and everything to everybody. And he's not. And you know what that shows? That you have no regard for the life of your beast. Oh my God, today. You ain't got no regard for him. You don't seek to know by experience. You don't care. You know what I'm saying? You don't care what he got to do. You don't care what he got to go through. Just gimme. Man, that's unselfish as hell. Certainly not godly. You know what I'm saying? Because God got concern for him. How you say that's your brother and you ain't got no concern for him? Now, I'm not talking about nothing but how people look at the job. This is Christian or Hebrew. Because I've told you plenty of times before, who they say got the highest rate of suicide? Christian pastors. And people like, well, they believe in God. No, it ain't just because they don't believe in God. You niggas ain't got no regard for him. So you don't care what he got going on. Just gimme. Pour. Take. And you ain't going to get nothing. You ain't going to give a word of encouragement. You ain't going to give a hug. You ain't going to give a dollar. You ain't going to give a plate. You just feel like, hey, man, he's supposed to pay for the building. He's supposed to do this, and he's supposed to do that, and he's supposed to do that. Man, that nigga gonna be dead. And guess what? You ain't gonna get no word. And you know why you ain't gonna get no word? Because why would God give a word to an individual who wasn't even faithful to his beast? He know you ain't gonna be faithful to him because the only thing you want to do is take. He said the major issue of the New Testament, and people tend to be the Pauline, and they tend to rarely ever be able to speak on the thing. Yeah, and you know why? Because I was talking to the rabbi about this here, man, and I never knew that he looked. He said he doesn't have an issue with the New Testament. He don't believe in himself, but he was like, his issue was the followers of it, of how they interpret it and how they behave. You know, unfortunately, when you see what it is, what a lot of people mention with Paul's letters is because they don't know that his letters are not deviating from what the Lord said. They're congruent with it, and they're congruent with the law and the prophets. The reality of the situation is that if you want to pervert and skirt something, then his letters are where you would want to go to do it. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you have people who don't have the thought process of, you need to validate this from the Old and the New Testament. You feel me? But you know, I'm with you on that, Meek. I know that most churches, everybody pay for the building, but what I'm referring to is the common thought process, and you can hear this from a multitude of pastors of organizations, whether Christian or Hebrew, is that a lot of people feel like everything's supposed to fall on that one man. Now, of course, we know in the law, we know what he told Moses, hey man, you're going to burn out. And I think I mentioned this the other day. The things that man can handle when it pertains to judgment and counsel is going to be relative to the amount of people in the assembly. You feel what I'm saying? But we've talked about this plenty of times before. But when it comes to the expenditures, that's communal, because it's always been communal. Because Israel always had to come together. Even y'all weren't in there. When I told y'all, buddies say David built the temple and not Solomon, but you can read in Chronicles where it say all the people offered willingly and everybody came together. Some gave more, some gave less, but everybody did for the purposes of building the temple. That wasn't something like, oh, David got to do that because David the one who wanted to do it. Now, I'm not saying every congregation, whether Christian or Hebrew, had this thought process, but it's enough congregations to where you know that this is a prevailing thing where they feel like that's the preacher job. The preacher should do this. The preacher should do that. The preacher should do this. The preacher should do that. And then you'd have to ask yourself, why do we have that thought process when the text don't bear witness to that? You know what I'm saying? Say people argue whether or not God told him to do that or not. You know, people gonna argue, man. You know what I'm saying? And you can't really control that. People like to argue. Christians want to argue that Paul said this here because they feel like it will justify whatever doctrine that they hold. And then Israelites want to argue back with him because they hate the Christian church and they want to prove it wrong. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reality where most of that stuff comes from. You know what I'm saying? You say that's one of the positive aspects of Christian church. The expenses was a group effort aside from tithes. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, tithes supposed to go to some of that also. But we talked about that before. You know what I'm saying? Some of that go to the preacher, the rest go for the father. You know what I'm saying? The people that's without. That's what that stuff supposed to be there for. Like, there's a whole, if we did things according to the way the man said, and that's my point of, if all the and I told y'all this plenty of time before, if all the congregations in the city was tied in together, niggas could actually take care of people who in the word and it ain't a burden on nobody. Like I say, man, Jacksonville is a city of 1 million people. So I would wager, irregardless of the large amount of size of a congregation or not, it probably about a good maybe 40 to somewhere between 40 and 100 probably congregations in this city that quote unquote profess to be Israelites and Torah keepers and believers in Mashiach. You know what I'm talking about? Now imagine if you say you take all those, let's say just for the sake of in the middle number, you take that 50. You got all these 50 people, 50 assemblies tapped in. We all know each other. We all know where everybody fellowship at. You know what I'm saying? Woo, woo, de woo. You know what I'm saying? We doing stuff of how the man laid it out in the text. Somebody say, hey, man, I'm down bad. I'm talking about I'm going to go to the extreme. Like, boy, I got to have a life-altering surgery, man. It's going to cost me 25 racks to get it done. If you talk about 50 assemblies and say that at minimum 10 to 15 people minimum in each one. Like when Paul said, man, I've been robbing other churches to pay you wages. Or as Jay-Z put it, man, what he got from Dame, man, if every nigga in your clique is rich, your clique is rugged. Nobody will fall because everybody be each other's crutches. That means I can get a little bit from him, a little bit from him. It ain't hurting nobody. That person good. But Brews don't want to do that. But that's literally what they did in the text. We scream by everything in the text by keep the law, keep the law, keep the law all day long. But nobody wants to mimic what they actually did as a group. Because y'all the brothers know we done pulled up on too many people. You know what I'm talking about? When we find out that we gonna come out, but we ain't finna keep hollering at you. You know what I'm saying? If we could tell you don't want to be fooled up with it. I don't know what them brothers called. We done pulled up on brothers when they had their stuff going on, baptism. We done pulled up on Boom Church on their stuff, what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? We pulled up on one dude to his house assembly, man. Nigga did us dirty. Niggas say, man, I willfully ignored these niggas. Niggas like, God damn. You could have just been man enough to say, man, I'm good. But a lot of these niggas ain't man enough to do that. Because I ain't gonna be mad at you. Because what you thought we were pulling up for. Or you could have just been man enough to say, man, what's y'all intent of coming here? You could have just did that and we could have told we ain't got no intent other than to be tapped in, my G. To be 100% honest with you. This is what we got in our mind. You cool with that? You down with that? Nigga, can you buy that? And if you can't, cool, we ain't mad at you. But ain't that's what we supposed to do? You niggas scream about the people all day long. You screaming community all day long. But do nobody want to do that? And who can we put at fault for that? The niggas who running it. Because I bet you ain't the people in the congregation who feel like that. I bet you that. You know what I'm talking about? I put money on that, man. They don't feel like that.
I'm probably wondering why they ain't linked up with others.
Man, I done had the people ask me that plenty of time. You know what I'm saying?
We can't get only Bruce and Jackson.
Not necessarily like outside people, but you know, people that we know. I done had plenty of people ask me that, like, man, why don't this, that, then the third? And I'm like, shoot, I don't got no answer. You know what I'm saying? I can't answer that. Because you can't beg and force people to do something that they don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to run nobody's assembly, and we don't want nobody out of your assembly. You know what I'm saying? Depending on scheduling, man, we'll pull up to your assembly. I ain't got to preach a word, blood. Preach a word for what? This is your assembly. That's not my job. I don't work here. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't ask, I ain't got nothing to say. But a lot of brothers don't have that mentality. They feel like you should let, nah, man, we not on that, blood. I don't work here. Now, if it's somebody who goes to come through here and I know they preach, bro, they free to speak. I don't care, bro. You got some work you want to put on the table. Now, if it's trash, the people going to look at you and let you know it's trash. I ain't going to tell you trash, but they might. I mean, I ain't going to say nothing. It's not a time and place for that. You know what I'm saying? It's a time and place for everything, man. But guess what? Whether a man's work is trash or not, you know what the main thing is? Yahuah was preached. So let your Abba in heaven be esteemed. Ain't that the number one thing? That's the only thing. What that boy say? You know about the commission? You know about that song? You shine? He said, in God we trust, the holy thing. Nigga, it's the only thing. You know what I'm saying? It's the only thing, my nigga. That's it. That's all that matters. It's all that matters. Is we gonna move this word and it can abide? Because I'm telling you, man, when persecution and tribulation hit this earth, niggas gonna need to be tapped in, blood, which is the number one reason why I be wanting to be tapped in with people in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Because when it get real, boy, people gonna need each other, man. You gonna need each other. See, everybody gonna want to be tapped in around that time, and truth be told, it's probably gonna be too late. Go ahead, man. Finish that jumping. What verse you in?
17.
1 Corinthians 1:17.
It said, for Mashiach sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the stake of a Mashiach should be made of none effect.
Made of none effect.
For the preaching of the stake is to them that perish foolishness.
It's what?
Foolishness.
It's what?
Foolishness.
And he say, as it happened to the fool, so it happened to me.
But unto us which are saved, it is the power of
It's
Elohim.
the power of God. Go ahead.
For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent.
So let's come back to Deuteronomy. No, I got to read Numbers 18 and 8. We didn't read that there.
He says, and Yahuah spake unto Aaron, behold, I have also given you the charge of my heave offerings, of the hallowed things of the children of the Asherah.
Unto you.
Have I given them by reasoning of the anointing.
And to your son.
By an ordinance forever.
This
shall be yours, the most Kadash things.
From the what?
From the fire.
Every
oblation of theirs.
Every
meat offering of theirs.
Every
sin offering of theirs.
Every
trespass offering of theirs.
And they shall
render unto me, shall be most Kadash for you and for your sons.
In the most
Kadash place shall you eat it.
Every
male shall eat it.
It shall
be Kadash unto you.
And this
is yours, the heave offering of their gift.
With what?
Wave offerings of the children of
I've given them under what?
Unto you, and to your sons, and to your daughters with you, by a statute forever.
Everyone
that is clean in your house shall eat of it.
And you see what this is, Civic? The laborer is worthy of his hire, or worthy of his meat. That's why he told you that. Because your law should have let you know that when he said that there. Them boys laboring on your behalf, they worthy of their hire. They got to eat the sacrifices. They got to partake in that for their labor. That's why he told you that. That's why you don't muzzle out the ox that tread out the corn. That's where that comes from. This is the instances of what we're supposed to see certain things, and then you see Paul mentioning this in the letter, and he's referring it directly to elders and teachers of the word, but this is in the law, so why is he saying this? Why is the Lord saying the workman is worthy of his meat? Why is he saying this? Because it go back to the law. And that's how you're able to whoop, whoop, whoop. That's why he said that. You see what I'm saying? Simple. It's plain. It's clear. And the witness is solidified. Back to Deuteronomy 25, because we're going to have to do what we didn't finish with the weights and measures for that internet winter trip. Read 25 and 13. I know we was in Proverbs 22. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see what we ain't finished in Proverbs 22. I feel like I skipped something. Go ahead, sir.
So you shall not have in your bag diverse weights, a great and a small. You shall not have in your house diverse measures, a great and a small. But you shall have a perfect and just weight, a perfect and just measure shall you have, that your days may be lengthened in the land which Yahuah Elohim give you. Mm-hmm. For all that do such things and all that do unrighteously are an abomination unto Yahuah your Elohim.
Now we was reading right in Proverbs 20 and 23, right, that a diverse weight is an abomination and a false balance is not good. And what we were talking about was bad judgment or respect of persons in judgment. You know what I'm saying? Or a false weight of a judgment. He said you can't have that. Now the next verse that we didn't read in Proverbs 20, there was 20, not 22. And I meant reading 24. Man's goings of Yahuah, how can a man understand his own way? Then he says it's a snare to the man who devour that which is Kadash and after vows to make an inquiry. Now we went over this verse before, and when you look at inquiry, now you want to seek. You done made a promise to God, now you want to look into it. He said that's a trap when you eat of his man's flesh. Huh? When you make a vow, that votive offering, you done promise something to God, man. You done ate this man's flesh. That's why he say don't eat the bread and drink the blood unworthily. You bring damnation to yourself. Now you done ate that which is holy, and now you want to make promises, and then after that you want to look into it. Well, you going to hell, boy. You know what I'm talking about? Well, you all the way out of pocket. Then he said, a wise king scatter the wicked and bring the wheel over them. Well, you know that Yahushua is that wise king, and he's coming to scatter the wicked. And then when you bring that wheel, that's that chariot wheel that take you back to Ezekiel chapter 1. And I guess you know. That's the coming of the Lord. Hide us under these mountains. So who shall hide us from the wrath of him that sit on the throne, another lamb? Then he said, the ruach of a man is the candle of Yahuah, searching all the inward parts of the belly. Now, when you look at a candle, that is near, and that's a lamp. And that he say, look here, man, the spirit of a man is what Yahuah used as a light to show everything that's in your baton. In that belly. Right into the seat of your mental faculties, or the seat of your hunger, or the seat of your desires. You know what I'm talking about? Then mercy and truth is what preserved the king. And, grace and truth came by Yahushua HaMashiach, and his throne is upholding by mercy. It's the mercy seat. You know what I'm talking about? But we don't even want to deal with that. That's really what the Deuteronomy 25, 1 through 3 is about. But by his wounds, by his stripes, you are healed from the wounds that he received, that upholding his throne by mercy. And that mercy and truth is what guarded him. That's why he was able to know that he will not suffer his Kadash one to see corruption. Preserve, of course, here is Nasar, which is the guard, to watch, to keep. That's what a lot of brothers don't want to look at. The loving kindness and the faithfulness of mercies is what guards a man, which is what protected. The law don't do that because it's not designed to, it's not supposed to. These are the attributes of your God, you feel me? Then he said the glory of the young man is the strength. We ain't got to deal with that because that's why he's gray-headed. So what verse you in, sir?
17.
This is Deuteronomy 25 and 17. I want you to read 16. Listen to what he say. Read 15 on general principle.
He said, but you shall have a perfect and just weight, a perfect and just measure shall you have, that your days may be lengthened in the land which Yahuah Elohim give you.
You got to have perfect and righteous judgment.
Say for all
Read me Psalms 37 and 10. Not 20, 37 and 29.
The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell therein forever.
Mm-hmm.
The mouth of the righteous speak wisdom.
The mouth of the righteous speak what?
Wisdom.
And they tongue
talk of judgment.
They tongue teach of that which is right and which is wrong. Because they're going to have a just weight and a just balance. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people balances is off. Remember, you judge not for man, but for Yahuah. You feel me? But go ahead back to Deuteronomy 25 and 15 one more time.
But you shall have a perfect and just weight, a perfect and just measure shall you have, that your days may be lengthened in the land which Yahuah your Elohim give you. For all that do such things and all that do unrighteously are an abomination unto Yahuah your Elohim.
All that do such things and all that do unrighteously are what?
An abomination.
They are what?
Abomination.
Tell them what unrighteously means, just in case they don't know. Man, if you got a false weight and a false balance, man, you're an abomination. Proverbs just told you that. But obviously, he said it here first.
Yes, a veil, injustice, unrighteousness.
That's the same word for iniquity. That's the same word for iniquity, man. That's injustice. You do injustice, you're an abomination. And when you got a false weight and a false balance, you're doing injustice, and you are an abomination. Let's continue. Hold on. See, I was just telling someone that the level of scrutiny they have for judging someone who celebrates Christmas is going to fall back on them for any sins they care to judge. And that is correct. A lot of brothers feel they justify because they know it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them people who care about that. You know what I'm talking about? Because we got bigger fish to fry. And you know why I don't care about that? Because of what we just read in 1 Corinthians 5. God will judge them outside the house. And again, we talked about that Wednesday. That's what people's biggest problem is, who in the word. You so concerned with people doing outside the house that you turn a complete blind eye and have a lack of care for what people doing inside the house by taking the worthy name by which you are called and blaspheming it. You don't care nothing about that. You don't care nothing about that. That's what I told y'all with that situation with the brother who pled guilty about his kids, man. It ain't about all that. But I give his enemies room to blaspheme. While you worry about how to make yourself look and you want to have a public counsel and interrogation of this woman about all this here, bro, all this stuff is embarrassing to God, my nigga. I don't care about none of that, man. Just do what you're supposed to do for your jit. We don't care about none of that. We'll sit here and talk about, man, these Christians keeping Christmas and eating pork. Meanwhile, the nigga you sitting here fellowshipping with, he got 4-5 women pregnant at the same time. This nigga beating on his wife. This nigga be lying all the time. You know what I'm saying? This nigga spiteful and malicious. These women over here are all type manner of wicked. But we got all the smoke for a nigga who celebrating Christmas. This man don't even profess to follow what you follow. Well, he say he believe in the Bible, but he don't profess to follow what you follow. So if you knew that, you would know he outside the house. So that's none of your concern. What we read in Corinthians Wednesday, man, that man say, I've written to you in the epistle letter, you ought not to fellowship with fornicators. He say, now I don't fellowship with the covetous, get it for him, see, 1 Corinthians 5 and 10, man. Bible says, yeah, no doubt. And this goes back to what we were just referring to. In the assembly, the only thing that you can do is hold each other accountable. And the way you hold each other accountable is by separating yourself from someone who is living untoward. That's all you can do. I'll tell you what dudes be like, what we can do to set in motion and people sin. There ain't nothing to set in motion. You tell them they wrong, and if they keep doing it, you separate yourself from it. What you think, you finna put a nigga on suspension? Like, what's wrong with you niggas? What you think, you niggas a nigga daddy? You gonna beat a nigga or something? What you think, you gonna force a nigga to love God, nigga? No, you know what we gonna do? We're gonna put out here, this nigga like women. Women he ain't married to. He had sex with 5 of them. That's it. Or that man got to stand in front of people and confess what he got going. Niggas make this jump more complicated because you feel like you got more power than what you got. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you ain't got no power. You only got the power that God give. God give you the power to correct, to rebuild, or to remove. And the removing is you remove yourself from a cod with them. That's it. That's it. Go ahead, Zeb. 1 Corinthians 5:8.
Say, therefore, let us keep the feast not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
That's right.
I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators, yet not altogether.
Remember, fornicators is not just having sex with a woman and you not married to her. Fornication runs the entire gambit of sexual degeneracy as laid out in Leviticus 18 and 20. So if you was a man and you were having sex with a woman and her sister, you would be considered to be a fornicator. If you was having sex with a woman while she was on her menstrual cycle, you would consider to be a fornicator. If you had sex with your auntie, you would consider to be a fornicator. You understand? That's any sexual degeneracy. Even adultery is contained in Leviticus 18 and 20. You would consider to be a fornicator. If you were a homosexual, you would be considered to be a fornicator. That's why some people read it and say sexual immorality, but we're going to keep it according to the text. And when it's talking about fornication, it's talking about anything laid out in Leviticus 18 and 20. Because you ain't supposed to be slinging loose meat anyway. You ain't supposed to be having sex with no woman who you ain't intending on marrying or you not already been betrothed to. But we didn't talk about this before. If two people are betrothed and they have relations, that's not a sin because they're already betrothed. You have to remove your mind from 2025, 21st century thought process. We ain't talking about we engaged and he gave me no ring, man. You know what I'm talking about? We talking about a promise of marriage, how these people operate. That's why he say if you hold yourself from your virgin, you do well. But if you can't contain, he says you haven't sinned. Now you're wondering why he's saying that. Because he just told you if you had sex with this woman, you didn't sin. He's telling you this because you are betrothed to this woman. Betrothal is a literal promise. That means there is a covenant that has been agreed to by the families of both parties. That's your wife. You know what I'm talking about? You got to get out of that boyfriend and girlfriend thought process when you read that in this text and you see how they operated. That's your wife. That's why I called Joseph Mary's husband and Mary his wife. Didn't he tell you, fear not to take your wife? He hadn't had sex with her yet, though. But it said they were what, Sid? They were betrothed. That's his wife. You know what I'm saying? That's his wife. So modern day, how would you deal with that? If two people sit down and they say they promised to be married and say, hey, we gonna get married such and such. If they was to have relations before that, they ain't sin, but you certainly married now. You know what I'm talking about? You certainly married now. And I know that we look at that in the aspects of the marriage license because nobody's actually making a covenantal agreement between. I'm talking if you actually went into modern day time and y'all made a covenantal agreement that we gonna be married. That's your spouse. You know what I'm saying? That's your spouse. That's just not. That's why he say if you had sex with someone who's betrothed, what you said, what the law say you done did. Because that's that man's wife. You know what I'm talking about? You have to understand that. See, we don't look at it in modern times like that. The closest thing we got is engaged. If we theoretically was to juxtapose that between what they did then, two people who engaged are married. That's a promise of marriage. Y'all married. If somebody was to have sex with that woman, they would be committing adultery. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's that man's wife.
They don't even see it that way.
Say what?
So they don't even see it that way in this time.
Oh no.
Like engagement, it's not marriage.
No, a lot of people don't cut, and that's because of the modern society that we live in. But if we was to take it to the standard and look, it's the same way I told you this before, right? The dog, some years back, he was like, he had them hit this woman. And he was like, man, I'm feeling bad. I'm like, I told straight up, I say, yo, check it, blood. If you're not gonna marry her, stop having sex with her. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you don't need to be doing that. Because you know that's what the law says. If you have sex with a woman who is not betrothed, you shall surely be endowed to marry her. It said, but if the father say no, you can't marry her. And of course, that's not the scenario because this woman's not a virgin. So her daddy ain't looking for no dowry. Hell, she may not even know her daddy. Unfortunately. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not saying that to be funny. She may not know her daddy. You know what I'm talking about? But the main key thing, this woman's not a virgin. So that's out the door. So what is the righteous thing to do? What is the spirit of the way of Yahuah on what you're supposed to do? Okay, you didn't have sex with this woman. Okay, you need to marry this woman or you need to leave her alone. And me personally, I told him you need to leave that woman alone because I know you don't want that woman like that. But you feel inclined to marry this woman because of what you participated in this woman with. And I get that, but you don't want that woman like that. This is going to end poorly. And you know what happened, Sid? It ended poorly. Shoot, man, I think I'm going to kill that woman, man, in the literal sense. It ended poorly. Because he didn't want this woman. And I don't think that woman wanted him. So it ended poorly. So remember, right, he said those of us who are Jews who go by the spirit of the law. So the spirit of the law is you ain't supposed to be out here freaking. You know what I'm saying? That's why ain't no boyfriend and girlfriend. If it's somebody you trying to deal with, the intent should be getting married first quarter. If y'all not even entering into it on this is what we're working toward, what's the point? But see, just because you get together don't mean you promise. Now these people would be promised to marry, and these people would be meeting each other first day. Son, this is your wife, and wife, young lady, this is your husband. You feel me? Say, what if someone in the word was married before, meet someone that was married before and didn't know, and later find out they had to leave them alone? That's an ugly situation. That's why you better ask. You know what I'm saying? Depending on your age. You know what I'm saying? You better find out. Yeah, you better find out. You had yourself crossed up in the mix, you know what I'm saying? Laid up with somebody else's wife. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, better find out. That's the only thing I can tell you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's how they did that. So, yeah, it don't matter if they're outside the word or not. I remember a dude told me if you was married before the word, that marriage don't count. Lying to me. You know what I'm saying? What that boy say, boy, your word is your word. Yeah, you got to find out, period. You know what I'm saying?
The word or not,
Then people get married every day. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, my other sister, man, she wanted to find it because she thought she was common law married. So she wanted to find out. Because you have to look at that too, because, you know, you also got to look at it this way. Some people don't hold to the standard about divorce and remarriage, and some people do. So you need to find that out. See, that's what people's problem is too, is people don't have conversations. Because if you look at Mark 10 and say, okay, I'm not marrying somebody who's divorced and their spouse still living, then you need to find that out. You know what I'm talking about? Because you got some people who, hey man, Deuteronomy 24 say, man, I can write a bill of divorce and remarry. So now I don't hold to that. And people don't be having them conversations. You know what I'm saying? You got to have those conversations. Say 2008, I experienced that. Stayed single and upset with myself for 4 years. I remember you mentioning that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have conversations about that if that's important to you. No, I know you didn't marry. I remember you mentioning that situation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's definitely something that you gotta have conversations about that. Because a lot of people have been married before and they got divorced simply because in America, you don't got to have no reason to get divorced. They got no fault divorce. You ain't got to have no rhyme, reason, or purpose other than I don't want to be with this person no more. And again, if you hold to Mark 10, then you want to find that out. You know what I'm saying? If you don't hold to Mark 10, then clearly that don't mean nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't look at that. We hold to Mark 10. That's how we dispense it. Everybody don't. And see, again, like I told you, man, I'm not one to argue about what other people do or don't do. Because I don't think you see Mashiach walk around arguing, well, you need to see it how I see it. You know what I mean? Okay, you don't see it that way. What you want me to do? You think I'm finna change what we got going on to appease you? I'm not. Say engagements are easy to break off if you don't. Yeah, engagements are easy to break off, which is why people don't regard them as being like that's your spouse. People regard engagements in America as we still dating. Mainly because people don't feel like a marriage is validated until you get a marriage license. You know what I'm saying? But scripturally, biblically, for lack of a better term, because I don't even like the term biblically, for real. But scripturally, from the way of Yahuah, at the moment of agreement to get married, that's your spouse. That's your spouse. That's how that operates. You don't realize the minute that Rebecca agreed to marry Isaac, that was his wife. That was his wife. You know what I'm saying? This is what that was. Even though Jacob worked 14 years for Rachel, day one, that was his wife. It just wasn't consummated, but that was his wife. Because that's how they operated. Because what did he say? Give me my wife. That was his wife. That's not your wife just because you could put your wee-wee in her. That's your wife the minute you become man enough to propose a marriage agreement and this woman agrees to it. That's your wife. And see, if we live like by that standard in this society, maybe people would take that more seriously. But of course we don't. So it doesn't happen. So can I say, right, and that's just for people who may not be around here all the time, man. Like, I am not an individual who's going to force the doctrine that we believe and espouse on to other people. I'm not. I'm going to tell you this what I'm not doing that, and I'm not teaching that. Now, what you choose to believe and teach and do is between you and the Lord. Simple as that. And I ain't gonna look at you crazy, be like, oh, that nigga been married before. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I ain't gonna give it two thoughts, to be honest with you. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm definitely not. I know some. I don't be around here pondering and thinking about what nobody got going on. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how to mind my business. Because again, that's between you and the Lord. I ain't got an answer for it. If you ask me my opinion on it, I'll give it to you. If you don't ask me for my opinion, guess what I ain't gonna do, Sylvia? I ain't gonna give it to you. And guess what else I ain't gonna do? I ain't gonna give it to nobody else just because I'm abreast of your situation because you didn't ask for it, so I ain't got nothing to say. A lot of stuff in the word would be better if niggas just did that. So what you preach the word? So what you could give some counsel? Did that nigga ask you for it? Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Until they ask you for it. And it is what it is. I think that's why you say my ex's father did not want her to marry her husband because she wore my ring for 5. Shoot. If she wore your ring for 5 years after, I wouldn't have married her. If I was buddy. Because I can already tell. I mean, you don't want me. You think about a nigga from 5 years ago. And that's why stuff be sour too. Because dudes be wifing up women, or y'all women be wifing up men, or husband or marrying men who you know mind and heart is with another person. I ain't talking about you think that's with another person. You know it's with. If a nigga walking around with another man's engagement ring on, come on, man. That person don't want you like that. You might want to slide. You know what I'm talking about? Where we at with it, blood? We gotta get off this. Almost 11. I went way longer than I was in. I thought I'd have stopped about 30 minutes.
5 and 10.
Listen what he said.
It said, yet not all together with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, for them must you needs go out of the world.
But he said, now I've written unto you
that you cannot keep company if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or a covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner.
Oh my!
Such a one not to eat.
Tell them what an extortioner is.
That is harpax. Rapacious, ravenous, an extortioner, a robber.
You like to take, you like to steal. He said, don't fool with you. That's the only penalty you could give somebody. I ain't giving nobody no sanctions. I ain't suspending you. I ain't doing none of that. I'm just not finna sit down and eat with you. I'm not finna kick it with you like that. I'm going to respectfully decline. Nah, I'm good, blood. Nah, man. You know what you got going on. Because he told you to not sit in the seat of scorners, no go in the way of sinners. I ain't fooling with you like that. Remember, he told another one, he said, man, give that person over to Satan, that the flesh might be destroyed, but the spirit might be preserved. Or when he told you, he said, I move you to shame, he said, I repent not. You know what I'm saying? He said, I want you to be moved to godly repentance, which should not be repented of. And again, I go back to what we opened up with, man. Y'all be trying to protect people's feelings. I don't give a damn about your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Your feelings gonna take you to hell. You know why? Because your feelings gonna lie to you. Your feelings will make you believe. They say Reigns beat them boy. Them boy made a whole diss record about the city. I just got the notification and Reigns beat them boys. For those of y'all that don't know, Reigns High School is a high school on the north side. That's my daddy alma mater, to be specific. They call it the graveyard. You know why they call it the graveyard, the football stadium? You know why they call it that?
Oh, it used to be a cemetery.
No, nigga, it's a cemetery across the street.
I know.
Nigga, my mama literally buried across the street. No, I'm talking about literally. It's two. I think that's three different cemeteries over there. There's 3 different cemeteries across the street from the high school. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you ain't come out of it.
No, I did.
That first one, that's restaurant. That's what my mama had.
Yeah.
Rain across the street. You know what I'm saying? Now, Pops, he buried at Edgewood. He ain't buried over there. But yeah, you know, they played Miami Northwestern. You know who Teddy Bridgewater is? Huh? Yeah, he coached them boys because he from down there. And they whooped Reigns last year. Beat him bad. You know what I'm talking about? So now they got a rematch, and some rappers from Miami made a diss record by Reigns in Jacksonville. Talking about how we were going to lose again.
Using the Jacksonville song, Ace's song.
Yeah, and they use Who I Smoke beat and Ace's vocals to say who they smoke, Reigns, and all this type of stuff. And the news with Jack notification say they just beat them boys. I know they're going to be looking sick. I did so much about where the Jacksonville version. I said, man, it wasn't gangster rappers in the Miami version. Nigga, them young killers can't make no song like that around here, man. Who the 69 boys gonna make it? Yeah, they just were having fun, talking trash. I was just, you know, harmless sports banter, you know, little friendly rivalry. You know what I'm saying?
That song didn't age well.
Yeah, it didn't. They said they won by 1 point, but I don't give a damn about ring because I didn't go to ring. So I didn't go to ring. So I went to Inglewood. Inglewood been trash since trash been trash.
That's just funny, but make a whole diss record.
You know what I'm saying?
Boys on
I'm from the south side. I ain't go over there. My mama went to Reebok, which is around the corner from ring. You know what I'm saying? For those of you that don't know, those are 2 predominantly black schools less than 5 minutes away from each other. You know what I'm talking about? Pretty much if you live on the north side and you black, that's where you're going to school at. Reigns or Reebok. No, but that's out east.
No, I know. I'm just saying. You're talking about predominantly black high schools.
Yeah, but see, they out east, so they don't count. Yeah, Jackson's out east. You know what I'm saying? East side niggas go to Jackson. Well, they used to. Now it doesn't matter. But back then, you had to go to school where you lived at. I think they're finna close some of these high schools. But nevertheless, when he say all those that do unrighteously are an abomination, if you do injustice, you're an abomination. And having a false weight and a false balance is an abomination. Let's finish this verse 17 about Amalek, man. We slide on up out of here, man. Because it's about 11 o'clock. We about to touch 3 hours. That's long enough.
Say, remember what Amalek did unto you, by the way, when you are come forth out of Egypt.
How y'all remember that? That's an Exodus, man. How they tried to take the attack the weakest parts, and he told you that he would blot Amalek's name from under heaven. And just in case somebody don't know what that is, Exodus 17, man. Who might not be familiar with this? 17 and what? 8. Just run that.
Then came Amalek and fought with Yasharal and Rephidim, and Moses said unto Yahuah, choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of Allah.
Oh, there's testimony in this here, man. This easy testimony work, right?
So Yahuah did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill.
So you see those three up there to the top of the hill is a foreshadowing of the Lord and, the two thieves next to him, because Moses is in the middle. Or as it says in Zephaniah, the judge Yah in the middle. Or in the midst, excuse me. Go ahead.
And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand and that Yasharah prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him. He sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady into the going down of the sun.
And that's what you see, that the going down of the sun, Yahushua on the stake, hands up, therefore you prevail. You know what I'm talking about? And of course, that's Naphtali, he that has prevailed. And he said, be of good cheer, I've overcome the world because I prevail. Or Kazakh, if you would, to overcome. In this instance, Amalek is representative of overcoming sin and death. Because once the sun went, right before the sun went down, his hands went down because he gave up the ghost. But continue.
Saying Yahuah discomfited Amalek and his people with Ezra the sword. And Yahuah said unto Moses, write this for memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Yahuah.
Retell it.
For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under Shammai.
Which is part of the reason why Saul got cut off when he told him to go around there and kill all them people, and he didn't do it. Because he don't fool with them. And he don't fool with them for no other reason, because they tried to run up on you. You know what I'm talking about? When you would come and try to catch you when you were weak and down bad. And you're supposed to remember that. You know what I'm saying? See, I had a conversation with somebody on a couple of days ago. I think I told y'all this here too, man. They always be telling black people to forget. Nigga, you lying to me. I ain't forgetting nothing, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't forgetting nothing. Not nothing. And I don't give a damn what no whole nigga think, feel, or got to say about it. Because number one, clearly, you just heard him tell them, write this in the book and retell, because that's what rehearse mean. You can't rehearse that. Rehearse mean to retell, to recount, to remunerate. He said, make sure you tell every generation about what Amalek did. I'm going to kill all them niggas. You understand? So guess what, man? I ain't forgetting you hung my wife from no tree, my mama from no tree, my grandma from no tree, and slapped her stomach till the baby fell out and stepped on the fetus head while you was sitting on the blanket eating a sandwich. I ain't forgot about that, and I ain't going to forget, and I'm going to tell my son about it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't forgot that you took that baby and set that baby by that swamp so that alligator could eat it, so you could catch it and skin him so you could put him on some shoes and put him on a belt. I ain't forgot about it, and I'm going to tell my son about it, nigga. I ain't forgetting nothing. And every time somebody tell you to forget that, they're telling you to forget that so you don't tell it to your son, so the day would never come that you retaliate. Because truth be told, and I'm not doing this as an advocating for retaliation, the thing that these people fear the most is the day that you retaliate. And this ain't because of nothing other. You can't do nobody dirty, man. Eventually, these people want blood. We just talked about it not too long ago. I'm dead serious about that, brother. Now you just seen it in your law. I ain't forgetting nothing. About nothing. Ever. And I'm going to tell my son about it. And I'm going to tell my daughter about it. I ain't forgetting nothing. You know what I'm talking about? And if you forget and don't have a desire to tell your children, you're doing them a disservice. In my opinion. You can take my opinion. You can do what you want to with it. It don't cost nothing. It don't mean nothing. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm going to tell you, that's how I see it, man. I ain't forgetting nothing. And you know why? Because my daddy didn't forget nothing. He damn sure told me. And Chandra and Rosalind ain't forgetting nothing. And they damn sure told me. And Richard ain't forgetting nothing. And he damn sure told me. You know what I'm talking about? And guess what? I told little mother when she was a child. Sure did. And I was a child, my doggone self. I still told her. Yeah, this what it is, this what it ain't. I don't play them type of games, man. You know what I'm saying? You can if that's what you choose to do. You want to live in the fairy tale land? That's your business. I bet you the second no. But don't you never forget that, boy, as long as you breathe. You understand me? Don't you never forget them people suck Rottweilers on you, boy. Because you easily could have been born in that generation, son. And that was you, that Rottweiler bit. That easily could have been you, son. That water hose was sprayed on. That axe handle that hit you. That bullet that was shot. That noose that was made. And you could have been put in it, son. The only difference was the period of time you were born in. That's the only thing separated you from that. Let that be known. You say, if I forget my grievances when you stop teaching them in school system. Yeah, look at man. That's why I believe, man, don't never leave it to your enemy to teach your children. When I say your enemy, I'm talking about because they're your adversary. When I say they're your adversary, that means the system is not designed with the intent to benefit you, not because they just inherently are this, that, there, and the third. They're your adversary because they do not do things with the intent of being beneficial to you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know and understand that and accept that reality for what it is. You know what I'm talking about? That don't mean you have to walk around with some blind hatred for these people. Slow, my G. You just got to know what it is. You feel me? Come on, man. Run this verse 17 again, man.
He said, remember what Amalek did unto you by the way when you come forth out of Egypt, how he met you by the way and smote the hindmost of you, even all that were feeble behind you.
He smoked the who?
The hindmost of you, even all that were feeble behind you.
You know who's in the hind? You know who's in the back part? Women and children, man. Women and children, man. Go ahead.
How we met you by the way and smote the hindmost of you, even all that were feeble behind you, when you was faint and weary, and he feared not.
And he said, when you was at your weakest, that's when he did it. They ain't fear God. What else?
Say, therefore it shall be when Yahuah your Elohim have given you rest from all your enemies round about in the land which Yahuah your Elohim gives you for an inheritance possesses, that you shall blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under Shamaim.
And you shall not what?
Forget it.
You shall not what?
Forget it.
You shall not what?
Forget it.
That man said, don't forget it. That's why he was pissed with Saul about that, man. You know what I'm talking about? Because you supposed to knew this and from your law, boy. You wasn't supposed to never forget that, boy. You say, I mean, like they teach the Boston Tea Party, the Civil War. Oh, yeah, facts. They tell you that all the time. Remember 9/11? Mm-hmm. Remember the Holocaust? But they tell you to forget. You don't see that disrespect?
Remember all these other people.
But you got to remember them, but you got to forget yours. Man, I ain't forgetting. Nathaniel. You understand me? And that don't mean that I walk around with some type of angst or hatred towards nobody I see. But this is what I do know. I got to watch you, boy, because you the descendants of the people who did it. And if it was in them to do it, nigga, it's in you too. And I'd be a damn fool to think anything other. I mean, I got to watch you. I got to be cognizant of you, because I'm telling you, boy, it sure as doo-doo stinking the sky blue. Boy, if you are the descendants of, he say, boy, you the children of those who killed the prophet. Well, that's in you too, boy. I told you before, I believe this here, man, if your daddy a whole nigga, he might pass that whole nigga gene to you. You know what I'm talking about? If your mama a whore, she might pass that whore gene to you. See, but there ain't no such thing as that. Well, see, what I mean is you might have a proclivity to certain type of behaviors. And then because they behave that way, they nurture and foster that which is already innately in you. Because see, if your daddy a real nigga in you. You ain't seen too many real niggas got a buster for a son. Now, he might have a wicked son. I said a buster. There's a difference. You know what I'm talking about? Because Samuel had some wicked sons. They may have not been busters, but they were wicked as hell. You know what I'm talking about? You can have a wayward son now. We talking about the intangibles as forfeits your character. When we talking about a buster, we just talking about a dishonorable, dishonest, just maggot, no good, slimy bastard. But hallelujah for y'all, man. Man, don't never forget. You know what I'm saying? Don't never forget. That's what your law just said, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Shoot. Okay. Let it be what it be. But I bless y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahuah. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Yahuah willing, man. We'll be back at it on tomorrow. We hit the doggone raise up a seed to your brother. As you see, it was 3 different elements to Deuteronomy 20. Well, actually 4. You had the stripes, the firstborn, the weights and measures, and Amalek. Shalom, Sister Regina. Amen. Amen, brother Margaret, man. Love you too, bro. Hold it down. You know what I'm saying? So you always got to make sure when you searching out the matter like we read, you know what I'm talking about? that you take your time and pause some things flowing together, be a multitude of things so you can understand what's being communicated and what you're reading. You feel me? But yeah, man, we gonna get off of here. Yeah, it is wild. But then like Solomon said, man, you could build something. Who knows if you leave it to a wise man or a fool? You know what I'm talking about? And that's one of the aspects why I told you that's why I don't believe in controlling nobody. Like I told you last, yeah, son, you can do whatever you want to do, son, but you just can't do it here. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't believe in controlling nobody, man. Hey, this is what it is and this is what it ain't. You can get with it or get on. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not finna try to control nobody. It's the type of time I'm on. You rolling with that or not? And that's another mistake that many people make is you think you could control somebody, man. I told you somebody that I grew up with said that. She said, you know, I felt like when we was young, you tried to control me. I was like, what type of situation or circumstance led you to believe that I wanted to do that? People do a lot of things. You know what I do, Civic? I don't say nothing. You know why I don't say nothing? Because that's what you want to do. And I ain't got nothing to do with that. And unless you ask me my thoughts on what you were doing, I'm going to keep it to myself. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, I remember a nigga told me, nigga had left like $50 on the dress. My first response was like, damn, you prostituting yourself now? That's what you own? Not like, why are you doing this? And woo, woo, woo. It was a genuine question because that's how you said it. That's the only thing I could come up with. Nigga, you my friend. I'm like, damn, you putting yourself out there like that? That's unfortunate. You know what I'm talking about? Because see, I'm like this here, man. Man, if I'm down with you, unless, especially back then, unless it's like extremely egregious, hey man, that's what you do. You still my nigga because I'm down with you. It's too late now. You know what I'm saying? Like unless you like, or at least with men anyway, like unless you raping people, you know what I'm saying? Like you doing some stuff that just violates the code of etiquette of which we live by. Hey man, once I'm down with you, I'm down with you. So it's just more so, damn, that's what you own. Make sure you take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, when our homeboy started smoking crack, okay, you smoking crack, you still my nigga, you just smoke crack. I ain't gonna be like, oh, I can't fool with you no more. You smoke rock because I'm down with you. You know, that's just how. I'm not saying y'all got to be like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how we was raised. This is how we view it. You know what I'm saying? If I mess with you, then I mess with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't messing with you contingent on you doing things that I agree with. I don't agree with you smoking crack, but what can I do to stop it? I don't agree with you doing X, Y, Z, or you stripping, or you said, matter of fact, that same young woman when I went to selling dope, she didn't agree with that. She was like, I don't care for you to do that. I said, I understand, but this crack finna get sold though. And they say, just be careful. You know what I'm talking about? Try to take your money, flip it legit. For sure. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I had homeboy started robbing. Man, I don't rob. Shoot, some of them niggas went to smoking booms, taking, and I don't agree with none of that. Now, when you get in the word, of course, there's a difference. I'm not going to be kicking it with you and you doing all manner of sin because I ain't supposed to. Book don't teach me to steal food with you. It's forth as being, as we just read, it's forth as being intimately involved with you. But I'm not going to look at you and be like, ugh, nigga. Hey, boy, you know what? You know I ain't on that type of time. You know what I mean? You know I ain't on that type of time, bro. We ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm down with you. I'm down with you. I done told y'all before, man. Only thing gonna make me stop fooling with you, you dishonor yourself. Or you do some whole nigga stuff, then I ain't gonna fool with you. Or you just patently and blatantly just disrespectful. Yeah, I'm good on you. I'm good on you. And you know why I'm good on you? Because I don't have to deal with that. You know why I don't have to deal with that, Civic? Because I love myself. And I love myself enough to say, but I'm not finna fool. You're not finna do that to me. You're not finna talk to me and you ain't finna do none of that. I don't know who the hell you think you is. I don't know what the hell made you think you was that goddamn important to me that you thought I was gonna deal with that. You can take your good shoe and put it on your good foot, tie that hoe up and limp up out of here, hoe. That's what you can do. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't gonna have your other foot gonna be bad because I've been stepped on it because you got me all the way messed up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got me all the way messed up. That's why you messed up. That's why you limping up out of here. But all jokes aside, man, this is certain stuff, man. You ain't got to deal with that. That's what's wrong with a lot of people. They think they can talk to you any kind of way, and you supposed to deal with it. Are you weak because you won't deal with it? Well, call me weak then, nigga. Guess what you ain't gonna call me? Stupid. Because I have to be stupid to deal with that. And I ain't stupid. Because you ain't that damn important. Yeah, no, hell no. God, no. No. And I appreciate my people for that. Because they the one taught me that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to deal with that. See, we're not talking about disagreements. You understand? We're not talking about misunderstandings and you seek to sort that out. We're talking about blatant and patent disrespect. And one party doesn't want to rectify that. I'm not dealing with that. That'll make me cut you off. You know what I'm saying? If I was down with you, I'm not dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? And dishonor. I'm not dealing with dishonor in no shape, form, or fashion. Once you dishonor yourself, hey, I'm good on you. Nigga who dishonors himself can't be trusted. You know, like I just told you, right? You know, we don't know who Blue is, but the dude who testified on the son, you would know.
Yeah.
You know, he doing the interviews now. Everybody looking crazy. I don't call. Look here, man. You just focus as because it's his son. You would have been cool if he told on anybody else, but it's his son that make it worse. To me, it ain't no worse. You telling on somebody of a crime that you explicitly and intentionally participated in is a sign of dishonor. Not because you're committing crimes, but because you said this is the type. Like there's a clip where it say where 50 Cent be on there. He say, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Supreme. He say, I don't like Cream in them. I don't fool with them. He say, but he lived what he portrayed. He say he never told on anybody. He say, now Jimmy Henchman, he say he helped solve the last 10 years of crimes in New York City alone. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because if you portray yourself to be this, and this is the code that you live by, and you go against it, you dishonor it. And that for me, that's sweeping across everything.
I thought he retired from crime.
Who that?
Blue, I thought he retired from crime.
Hell no. You know what? You know that he had a chain on in these interviews, and you know what chain he had on? NHG. Oh, for those of you who don't know what NHG is a gang in the city, a gang his son was a part of. And you know what the top of that chain he had on there? A Yahuah. And NHG stands for No Hospital Gang. For those of you who can't put two and two together, that means when we draw down on you, you ain't got to worry about going to the hospital because you're going to be DOA. Now, he just got out of jail for 5 years for a murder accessory after the fact. Testified and helped participate in getting his son a life sentence for a homicide that more than likely his son definitely committed. And you in public with a chain on with an AK-47 with no hospital gang on, man. The nigga don't care. This nigga's a criminal. This nigga's a certified criminal. So based off the code or standard that you say you live by, you're dishonorable. So when you sit back and you look at it, if a man's supposed to be in the word and he's supposed to carry himself by a certain code of conduct, see, we're not talking about him committing certain sins. We're talking about the honor part. And you violate that, yeah, I'm good on you. Then if we talking about natural things that as a man, if there's certain codes of conduct and honor that you live by, and a nigga violate that, well, I'm good on you, bro. It ain't no beef or nothing. There ain't no pressure or nothing. Ain't gonna be like, nigga, I'm gonna fight you when I see you. It's like, nah, I can't fool with you like that. So I'm just gonna remove myself from dealing with you. See, I never was taught what a friend looks like. I'm learning now. I had to cut a long-term friend for his mouth and leaving me in a situation with the IRS. Damn, the IRS, that nigga definitely ain't your friend. And then got mad at me when I spoke my mind on it. Man, when you're dealing with a friend, man, you know, a friend is a confidant, an intimate. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody say today your friend, then we down with each other, man. I care about you, you care about me. I'm invested in your success. I would hope that you in mine. And whatever that success may look like. You know what I'm saying? If you out of pocket, I'm going to tell you out of pocket. If you need strength, then I'm going to strengthen you. If you need love, then I'm going to love you. If you need an ear, then I'm going to listen. If you need comfort, then I'm going to be in your presence. You know what I'm talking about? That's all it is to it, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas don't know what a friend is because a lot of people, man, niggas don't love themselves. So I thank the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? We grew up, man. Niggas love each other for real. Niggas just ain't look at you and say, that's my friend, that's my brother, and I love it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to tell him when he's wrong. I'm going to pick him up when he fall. I'm going to be there for him when he need me. Because that's my brother and I love him. He don't owe me nothing but love. Like before I even knew that was in the Bible, man, that's how niggas live by. Boy, I don't owe this nigga nothing but love. That's my nigga. Like, for real, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be like, nigga clown with the Paul John because the nigga immature. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to certain levels of comedy. You know what I'm talking about? See, D mad now because I teach Joanne butt jokes. You know what I'm saying? She got to appreciate a good fart and butt joke, man. You can't just toss those to the side, Jamal time coming. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, when you grow up, man, like let's say, right, I went to my barber, right? You know what I'm saying? We grew up with each other. Nigga, I love his turn the same way. Like this is the second time I hadn't had them in the barbershop with him, man. Nigga run up on him like, nigga, what don't do your uncle like that? You know what I'm saying? They know they don't know him like that, but that's just off the top. Nigga love each other, man. Them your turn, then they my turn. Ain't got to be nothing that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't have that, man. Well, that's just boom. It's like that. Because them your people. And it don't matter if we talk to each other every day, see each other every day, man, that's my nigga. I've known this nigga for over 35 years. You know what I'm saying? You talking about damn near your whole life. You know what I'm saying? So it be like that. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be like that in the word, though. But nigga don't be like that, though. See, I always mention that this here, man, because it's just real nigga activity, man. When we were laughing in Detroit, man, that was our first time seeing Johnny Ghost, nigga putting up on this nigga like come to the house, nigga. And it's like this here, like we all been down with each other for 15, 20 years. If somebody would have walked up and be like, this the first time y'all seeing each other, they wouldn't have known it. You know why? Because nigga, hey, them my niggas, I love them. That's how it's supposed to be, though. Nigga don't be on that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas don't be on that. Niggas don't really love each other like that for real. That's why I mentioned that earlier about niggas want to be segregated in they congregation like that, my niggas. I ain't got to know you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I love you, boy. You know why I love you? Because you black, nigga. That's how I was raised, man. We the same people, boy. I love you just on the strength of that. I don't even got to know your character and personality. Boy, I love you simply because you're black, my nigga. Straight up. You know what I'm talking about? Straight like that, man. I'm down with you, man. Till all the tires flat, man. There ain't no more breath in our lungs, man. You dig? Man, we ain't gonna never get nowhere, man. Long niggas just be like, you love people just cause y'all got similar interests. But dishonor, man. Never tolerate dishonor, man. Under no shape, form, or fashion. Your God don't tolerate it. As a man, don't tolerate it. But I appreciate y'all, man. Get on my field sick and say he ready to go home. His wife waiting on him. She need a back rub. She sleep. She said that baby heavy. Shoot. Thank you, Yahuah, man. Shalom, my G. Yahuah Baruch. So yeah, man, y'all with it, man. We'll be back at it on tomorrow, man. Make it do what it do. Again, I bless y'all the house Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Love y'all, man. Hold it down. You know what I'm saying? And if you can choose anything today, man, choose to be a real nigga. Y'all with it, man. Till tomorrow. Peace, man. Hold it down, Rohan. Yahuah Baruch me.